Hello there, you are extremely welcome to day 2, the evening session of the Kobe 2024 Para-Athletics World Championships, delayed originally from 2021. We are here finally in 2024. It is day 2, it is the evening session, it is a wonderful day. The crowds are flocking in. The Universiade Memorial Stadium here in Kobe, it holds 36,000 people. Built back in 1985, a tremendous venue for tremendous Para-Athletics World Championships. 9 days in total, 18 sessions all up. This, number 4, on a glistening evening here in Japan. It's been fully supported. Loads of school children out this morning and yesterday. And we have a fantastic session to look forward to. There's 11 finals this evening. There were 7 in the morning session. And no doubt there's going to be more records, whether it be championship records or world records, broken this evening. Let's have a look at the schedule, getting us underway. It's the men's javelin throw F57 with Mohamed Kalvandi. He'll be leading the way in that one. Kira Rodriguez in the women's 100 metres T47 will go a little bit later in the opening round of that. Men's 100 metres T12, Noah Malone will be looking for something special. And then we move along to the men's high jump T64, Jonathan Broome-Edwards and Maciej Lepiato, who shared the gold medal in Paris 2023. Jaden Blackwell in the men's 100 metres T38. No Lisa Adams in the women's shot put F37, so that one is really up for grabs. And we finish with a couple of 5,000 metre specials. Slight breeze here this evening. Nothing too bad to talk about. It should be set fair for a wonderful night of para-athletics. 3 field events to get us underway. And that windsock is actually going to be helping those athletes who are in the long jump coming up in a little while. 25 degrees, gorgeous day. We'll get a little bit cooler in the evening. Possibility of rain over the next couple of days, but we'll cross our fingers and hope for the best. All the kids have been absolutely loving the para-athletics taking place, whether it be in the track or on the field. New fans, old fans, fans who are here just to enjoy the wonderful sport that's being seen. I'm Tolson Tollett. Will Downing is with me, and alongside me a former world and European champion, Steph Reid. Steph, it's been a wonderful start. We're in session 4 now, and there's so much more to look forward to.
We have had 2 spectacular days. Actually, the conditions this morning were perfect, and I'm currently looking down on the long jump runway where once again, stunning conditions. It's reasonably hot. The wind is at their backs. These are exactly the conditions you want to jump big.
Well, the athletes getting ready for the 3 field events which are going to be taking place. Men's javelin throw F57. Men's long jump T47 and the men's club throw F32. Mohamed Kalvandi in the javelin throw. He's the reigning champion and the European champion. Big names to look out for. And as we look down the list of the long jump, Roderick Townsend, who's the reigning world and para champion in high jump, who'll be heading out in the long jump. The man who broke the world record, winning gold at the Pan American Games last year, the 21-year-old Robert Sol Cervantes from Cuba. Right on cue. So the Cubans the ones to look out for. Townsend actually won this event back in Rio in 2016. He's been a silver medalist twice, in 2015 in Doha and also last year in Paris. And Ano Assemani of France also, and he won gold back in Beijing. Remember that? 2008. A few tips on how to throw the club down there from the Algerian coaches.
I think that might have been a javelin throw action there.
It didn't look like it to me, trust me. There's been a wonderful crowd that's come in over the last couple of days, and I guess that for those who are new to para-athletics, it's something different to the norm.
I have yet to meet someone who has come to a para-athletics meet and not enjoyed it. And I think the real trick is just letting people know, one, it's out there, and two, helping them to understand the sport, because it is impossible to fall in love with the sport if you don't understand it and you don't see it regularly.
Well, you got a nice little pan shot then and back over where the long jump is going to be in front of the main stand. We have a wonderful view looking down on it. That's where they're going to be heading down on the right-hand track as you're looking at it there, of the two heading into that long jump pit. And it looks like there's going to be a slight breeze behind those athletes as they head down the long jump platform and into the pit, and it means that when we have the races on the track a little bit later, there's going to be a slight headwind for those athletes as they come down the home straight. It may well change as we go along. It's been fluctuating throughout the course of the past few days. 1 minute it's there, the next minute it just calms right down and even changes direction every now and then as well. That's the main stand. You can see the long jumpers just warming up on that far side on the edge of the main track. And here we go, the men's long jump. T47. For those affected with an upper limb deficiency. Field of 16 set to go in this one as well. There's Ano Assemani of France, the man who won gold back in 2008. Nikita Kudakov, who's a neutral para-athlete. There's the man who's the world record holder, setting it in Santiago in Chile back in November of last year. Sol Cervantes. He's in a very strong field indeed. Plenty of jumpers well over that 7 metre mark. 774 is that world record. Assemani has the championship record that he set back in Christchurch in 2011. So we're going back 13 years or more now when that was set. There is Roderick Townsend, who's the reigning high jump champion.
Representing Latvia,
But the long jump is,
representing France.
it's one of those things, Steph, that when you get into the groove with it and you're happy with how you're jumping, that you just, everything else seems to just melt away.
There is no better feeling than when you run down the runway and you take off and you just fly and it feels easy because everything has worked out. Your timing, your speed, your power, everything is transferred. That is a feeling every long jumper is chasing. And at the moment, looking at that windsock, these are fantastic conditions. Such a great opportunity for athletes to take advantage. And this is one of the biggest and deepest fields we've ever seen for the men's T47. It was so big, we had to have a qualification yesterday just to whittle them down to 16.
Yeah, it was interesting as well, talking about the fact there are so many athletes taking part. When they were out there trying to work their marks out, there was it was like a traffic jam because there were people waiting to go and there were others who were obviously speaking different languages and trying to move people out of the way. It was really congested when they were out there trying to work that mark out. How difficult is it when you're trying to do that and there are people everywhere?
It is hard because in training you're used to having things all your way. That does not happen when you come to competition. Everybody wants to do their thing their way. And not to mention just the warm-up itself takes a little bit longer. If you have 16 athletes trying to set up their runway and you estimate just 30 seconds for each of them, that's a long time to get through them all, and you may only get 2 jumps. At a minimum, every athlete has to be given 2 attempts to set up their runway. Typically in a competition you'll get longer than that because you have time, but in this particular competition they won't have had much time and may have had to make do with just those 2 attempts.
Yeah, what was really interesting as well, because if you get your mark, you want to make sure that you're doing it at full speed as well. So the athletes were then jumping into the pit at full speed, landing on one leg and then running out the pit. You always worry that someone's going to trip over the edge of the pit when they actually run out of it at the other end.
I was mildly concerned for the photographers down there because they are awfully close to that pit. And the other funny thing about when you come to international competition is that athletes from different countries, we all have different ideas of how to queue and how to take turn. And again, you just have to manage that.
Yeah, those markers that have been put down, I should say, not being put down, they've been put down, alphabet letters. So you have to remember where you're going to put your letter and remember what letter you actually are.
Exactly. You also need to make sure you put your piece of tape underneath it because those markers get kicked. Not intentionally, but there's just a lot of traffic down there right now, and you don't want to be in a position where you're starting the competition and you're not entirely confident on that starting mark.
Well, they're all being lined up now for the crowd. We do have 3 field events taking place before we do hit the track in this evening session. Along with this event, the men's long jump T47, the men's javelin throw F57 is also going to get started, and 5:10 local time men's club throw F32. Wherever you're listening to us, Facebook page for World Paralympics, on YouTube, whichever other medium you are watching this one. We hope you enjoy it, and we hope you have joy with your athletes you are watching on with, no matter which country you come from. It is one big party when you come to the World Championships for Para-Athletics. As a matter of fact, when you go to any Para-Athletics event, always well run, always great fun talking to the athletes and getting their thoughts on what they think, and generally you'll find them very, very happy with how things have gone, as long as it's gone well on the track or in the field for them. So it is a big field of 16. We are waiting to have introduced to the crowd. Loads happening again this evening. Once we hit the track in a little while, we'll start with the women's 100 metres T47. 2 heats going in that one. Kira Rodriguez will be in it, the reigning world champion in that one.
At order 12, and also Japanese player Ashida
Japanese athlete Ashida Hajimu got a big reception then from the local crowd. All the Japanese athletes have been given wonderful, wonderful support so far here, and no doubt it will continue.
Representing Serbia, Matijasevic Nemanja.
So Nemanja Matijasevic, silver medalist in the 2021 Bydgoszcz European Championships. Maso Ochoa, lifetime best for him of 690. Wang Hao of China, they've been right up there again, 753. That man's lifetime best. Uzbekistan have been well represented as well. They've done ever so well in track and field over the last few years, going all the way back to Tokyo in 2021. Kasanov for them. Veltra Herrera of Cuba. 2 Cubans going in this one. Biggest name yet to come, Nikita Kotikov. New 25-year-old neutral para-athlete. There is Ashida again. Listen to that. Season best of 668. He's got some way to go to try and reach his personal best. Surmangol of Thailand.
Representing
He's eighth
Brazil,
to be called out.
Dos Santos
Bruno Dos Santos of Brazil. Haven't they had a championship so far? 4 gold medals on the opening day. Mutai of Kenya, 6.55, his season best. He's 10 centimetres short of his lifetime best. Alberto Perez of Argentina.
Representing Cuba,
The world record holder, Robert Cel
Cervantes,
Cervantes, won gold in the Pan American Games last year. 21 years of age, world record holder.
Representing United States of
Roderick
America,
Townsend, the reigning world and para champion in high jump. He took gold in this one back in 2016 in Rio.
Representing France,
And the man who won gold in Beijing back in 2008, Arno Asmani, also a silver medalist
representing India, Kaki
a couple of times as well. Kaki of India, 6.85, his lifetime best set this year. And Shabib Mahmoud of Egypt,
now.
just shy of 7 metres with his best jump of 6.98. So the field are all set, ready to go. 16 taking part. And I have this sneaking suspicion we may well see at least a championship record in this one. There's a few names missing from these championships, but this one here has got the big guns indeed. What are you expecting?
Conditions are great, I have to say, and mindful, of course, it is still early in the season. It's just May, and one of the challenges for athletes competing here is they have to manage what we call a double peak. For any championships, you have a bit of a taper, which means you come out of training, but after this competition, these athletes will go right back into training and get ready for Paris.
Here's Matasiewicz, get us up the one, and that one is a red flag straight up. He's gone way past the board. And we talked about the run-ups and getting that right and making sure your marker is in the correct position. He's having a look up to his coach in the stand, and you can see there he's a good few centimetres over that mark. Could that come down, do you think, to the tailwind slightly behind him?
Okay, well, actually, looking at that, so we have a plus 1.1. We can see on the 100-meter straight, they've got a negative 2.3. So it does mean that the wind is variable. It does make it tricky when it comes to adjusting your runway, and that is one of the big skills of this event. There's been a little bit of talk in the able-bodied athletics where they want to change it so that they start measuring from the point of takeoff. There's been a little bit of controversy, I think it's safe to say, about that, because athletes say, well, actually, you're taking away one of the big skills. It is incredibly difficult to be precise and run at top speed and constantly find yourself in the same spot, but that is the nature of this event.
Well, Meso Ochoa of Colombia is ready to go. You just heard him give a big whoop to the crowd.
The featured player is from Algeria in order 8.
As he gets going for jump number 1.
Who holds a 41.64 meters this season.
Well, it was a legal jump off the board. We'll have our first mark of the championships in this event.
Men's club throw F32.
Wasn't too bad, actually, as far as his length goes.
Oh, he was good on the board, speaking of being precise. Now, this is a men's T47 event, which means that all of the men have an arm impairment. And when it comes to long jump, the impact of this, it's both in the run-up and it's in your air position. So when you take off, the forces are constantly trying to rotate your body forward, and you use your arm to counter that rotation.
Well, 6.46 for Meso Ochoa. Still some distance short, 44 centimetres short of his lifetime best. There's Wang Hao. The lone Chinese athlete in this one.
Representing Czechia, Servus František.
And we saw Wang last night in the 100-meter final where he came third, so we're expecting a very fast run-up from Wang.
It's all about getting it right at the board, and Wang is now underway for his first one.
And representing Uzbekistan,
Well, that was tight.
men's club throw.
They're having a bit of a look at this one.
Final starts now.
Yeah, the red flag has been given. It was tight. From the naked eye, you could see that from our position. Well, did he make an indentation? Been given a red flag anyway, so no mark for Wang. So we've had 3 jumpers so far, and 2 of those have been fouls.
So it looks like they're actually not using plasticine on the board. What they've shifted to now is a system where they use cameras. And so what they can do is they can expand in, and the rule is, even if it doesn't look like his foot necessarily touched the colored part of the board, if any part of that foot crosses the plane, then it is deemed a foul. And what happens is all of those pictures are stored. And so athletes can go back and have a look at it. Even still, it's a bit frustrating when you know it was that close. And the benefit of that system just means we can speed it up. We're not having to wait for officials to switch out boards and roll out plasticine. But I think there was still something quite satisfying in being able to see the mark.
Well, Kasanov, that's a decent enough jump indeed. It's up around that 7-meter mark. He does have a lifetime best of 7:21. He won't be pushing up towards that, but yeah, he's lost a bit too, hasn't he? There's a bit of give and take in that, because you want to get as far as you can up, but then you don't want to foul at the same time, so you have to just trust yourself. But he has got a mark. So many times we've seen people who have got in with their first 2 have been fouls, and then so much pressure when it comes to their 3rd jump to try and qualify.
Yeah, especially in a field that's this big. Athletes really want to make sure in that first round they have a solid, confident runway, because after the 3rd round, only the top 8 athletes are going to get their next 3 jumps. And as you said, you do not want to be in the position where you've got 2 fouls to your name and you're trying to jump both big and conservative, because you need to get a mark in, but you also need it to be big enough to make it into the top 8. Yeah,
6:77, so we have a new leader. Only 4 have jumped so far. The first of the 2 Cubans, Belcho Herrera. Well, that looks like a foul straight away. Well, it must be close. Red flag's given. Second guessing myself for a moment. Yeah.
And you can see just a fine margin there. And this is when you have to go back and now you have a conversation with your coach, because there's always that question, hang on a second, do I need to move my mark back, or is it the way that I am running that runway? So, for example, with Vilcher Herrera, he has a few intro steps as opposed to what I would call a hard start, like a sprint start. And that does make it easier to get up to top speed, but it does allow for a little bit of inconsistency to creep into that run. But again, these runways, athletes will have rehearsed and practiced day in, day out. Sometimes it really is just a little bit of nerves, or maybe a really unfortunate kick of wind.
Well, 3 out of 5 so far have been fouls, so it's been a consistent start on the foul board anyway. Here's Kotakov now, the neutral athlete.
You can see here that some athletes will choose to wear an arm prosthesis when they compete. Now, clearly that one doesn't have a hand. It's not necessarily for function, I suspect. That actually is just to balance out his upper body in terms of weight.
India's Vikram has just finished his 6th attempt. His mark at the time is 38.28 years.
Well, that was long, but it's another foul. So 4 out of 6 so far. This will be a quick competition if it keeps on going like this.
Now, it might seem a little bit counterintuitive to want to add weight to your body, but actually, sometimes it can be helpful if it means that your forces are balanced and you're producing the same amount of force through each side.
So 4 out of 6 thus far. Meatloaf said 2 out of 3. Double that and you'll get that. 4 out of 6. Will Downing.
So Hajime Ishida getting his competition underway for Japan. And if he gets this, he will be in the top 3. So many early fouls in this opening round. He's put a lot of good distance into that. He's a 7:15 man. Gets the white flag as well, and good support too.
The entire stadium lit up when he called for the clap. Possibly the night before, we had some of the visually impaired long jump where the crowd was instructed to be absolutely silent so that the athletes could hear their guides calling. But as soon as Ishida asked for the clap, everyone in the stadium joined in.
Well, he's gone into second position, 6:53. Cracking result, just behind Kasanov with Mesu in third spot. It was a triple jumper when this was on the circuit before. Not anymore. Siramongol of Thailand didn't make 6 meters, but he does get the white flag. 6:41 is his lifetime best, and that's not going to match it.
Now just keep an eye on his landing there. You can see actually his right foot stamped down well before where you would see normally an imprint from your backside, and ideally that's why you want to get those feet kicked out, because you are missing valuable centimeters.
.541 puts him into fourth position. Very, very nice crowd in this evening on the home straight, right in front of the long jump area. Next to go, Bruno Christian dos Santos. He's a 7-meter jumper this season. Already seen a few of these in action on the track. 6:77 is the lead. That is a nice leap. It's beyond 6 meters at the very least.
That's Javelin from F57 final.
6:46 would be third at the moment. He's just a bit short of that, though.
You can see there just how hard he has to work with his left hand. Again, as he works to control those forces off the board, which really are trying to rotate you forward.
Yeah, 6:16. For dos Santos, fourth spot. He can definitely go a lot farther than that. And will want to. Turn to Vincent Mutai now. For Kenya. Who obviously we would associate a lot more on a global basis with middle distance running. He finished 9th in the long jump last year in Paris. Didn't meet the board particularly well. He's got out around 6 meters. 6:55, his season's best.
You can see there from his body language, he wasn't happy with that one. He just didn't quite connect on takeoff, just not getting the height that he would have expected. Didn't quite have enough time in the air to complete that landing. But he's very clever. He didn't panic. He just tried to push himself off to the side to make sure that at least he got, well, 5.96, so not quite at the 6 meter mark, but by doing that action, he just saved himself a few extra centimeters, which could down the line become quite important when we come to that third round reshuffle where just the top 8 athletes are moving on.
Well, the good news is he's in 5th spot and he has a solid foundation for the rest of the competition, and that is vital enough. Pires of Argentina. Alberto Pires, 6:91 is lifetime best. That's good. That is a white flag. It's a fair jump, and it's a fairly good jump too. It's got a nice way out, and that may well test the top 3 for now.
That's a great angle there. You can just really see again when you hit it, and it's just that seamless action from takeoff to height to landing. So his PB is 6:91. He is just on that 7 meter mark.
Yep, 6:71. He goes into the silver medal position. Brilliant effort by Pires. He is a contender straight away. And Sol Cervantes certainly feel the same way too. Pires with silver in the Pan Ams. Behind this man, it was the world record 7:74, having set it in Bogota back in June of last year. Then in Santiago in November, he went even further out to claim the Pan Am gold. Maybe something special coming today from him. Maybe. It is a white flag, and he gave, I think, a little bit of distance away. Kasanov leading on 6:77 until now.
That was a huge jump, and you can actually just see right from the runway. Look at how rhythmical this is, and it is a huge jump. Unfortunately, he's going to miss about 20 to 30 centimeters off of that jump, and I'm a little bit concerned for him because at the moment he's got a bib both on his front and on his back. Now, athletes don't actually have to wear a bib on their back because there's always a danger that as they land, it can dig into the sand.
He leads. Sol is shining, 7:42, and he goes into the gold medal position by a long way. Kasanov in second position. This is a man who's been here before and won the long jump before. He's dominated the high jump brilliantly. He is a prime entertainer, and you remember basically in London at the Worlds in 2017 and in Paris last year, he had the stadium pretty much to himself at the end of the day to claim world records. What can he claim here? Might have gone over that. He's gone beyond 7 meters. This is a close one as to whether it's going to be a red flag or not, though. At the moment, it is no flag. That's the thing with the plasticine. You can look at it immediately and put the flag up, but the lasers are taking their sweet time. And if he's got that, that is close to 7 meters. You can just see the takeoff judge there with the flags. And Townsend quite conveniently is hanging around to see whether he was got there or not. He's also waiting to see a replay. It was very close. We still don't see a flag. If he's... It's white. Ooh, this could be good. This could be serious for Roderick Townsend. Maybe on the way to something really decent here.
Well, he has got the white flag, but I don't actually think that is you can see that he was just trying to chop his stride right at the end. He had the awareness. That was very close. Now, he had the awareness to know it was getting it close, but the thing is, you're making this decision between, okay, do I kill my speed a little bit to make sure I'm on the board? And I think that's what he knows has happened. The thing is, not only is he a great high jumper and long jumper, he then coached Ezra Freck in the high jump. And so sometimes you have this ability to coach yourself at the same time.
6.99 goes into second position. Anu Asmani of France, a 7.50 jumper in his own right. On the way towards 7 meters as well. I don't think there's much doubt. There's going to be a white flag, and it's a white flag. That certainly wasn't a close call at all. Townsend had a massively close call. Asmani, not so much.
Asmani has been around for so long, all the way back to Beijing 2008. And you have to ask yourself, what could be the thing that inspires an athlete to keep going? And the prospect of a home games in Paris is certainly at the top of his mind right now.
6.37 goes into the bronze medal position, which is 10 centimeters off what he did last year when he finished in 4th. Missed out by 8 centimeters. Kaki Mohammed now. .685, his lifetime best set this year. Sheikh Abdul Qadar, Kaki Mohammed, who bowed out in the heats of the men's 100 meters yesterday. Didn't use a lot of the board, but that's fine. It's about 660, 670. And he may well be a contender in this. At 653 right now is 6 spots, so he may well be top 6. Well, not quite 640, but he's an 8 spot, and he's in the top 8 for now anyway.
8 spot, that it's certainly early days, and actually one of the benefits of being a long jumper, we saw some of the seated throwers trying to communicate with their coaches from afar. In this case, they can get right up next to their coaches, even be handed video recording devices, and have a little bit of quick feedback in terms of how they're going to pull themselves up the ranking.
Well, there's the men's javelin throw at 57. There are 2 seated events going on at the moment. There's the javelin throw at 57. And we've also got the men's club throw F32. So plenty of seated throwing. We've had that in each session so far. Gordon Fonseca is the man you just saw there, who's almost ready to go, but we're going to leave that and we're going to go to the track, because we've got the first track event of the night, the women's 100 metres T47. And is the opening heat of 2 semi-finals, if you will. And there's our field for this one. There are 6 going. We'll have the 3 fastest go through, and then we'll have the 2 best times from each of those heats will qualify through to the final. So like we're just seeing with that men's long jump, this is for upper limb deficiency, so those affected by an upper limb issue. Anna Grimaldi, who goes in this one, she took bronze last year, the New Zealander. The first time we'll see her at these games. Mixture of youth and experience in this one. Petra Luderin, she was 7th in the 400 metres last year in Paris in that 100 metres now. This lady here was 5th in the 400 last year. Home favourite, Suji Sai. Anna Grimaldi, she's also the Paralympic champion from the last 2 Paralympic Games in the long jump. Saskia Sokolov, she was 4th, just missing out on a medal last year in Paris. She did take silver in the shot put and a 200 though last year. And Teresa Yaksheva of Czechia, silver back in 2018 in Berlin for her, 8th last year in Paris. And Jill Ross, 17 years of age, from Germany, and her first major championship.
Round 1 starts now.
Reigning champion Kira Rodriguez will go in the second of the heats. So Luteran in 3, Suji in 4, Grimaldi in 5, Sokolov in 6, Yashkova in 7, and Ross in 8. And away they get, and Suji has got away very quickly indeed, the Japanese athlete there in lane 4. She's being caught by Grimaldi on the outside. Sokolov is coming through to take it. Sokolov's going to go through. It's going to be Grimaldi in 2nd place, and it looks like Yashkova out wide is going to pick up that 3rd and final qualification place, and the rest will have to wait to see if they go through. 12:54 is the time. So a season best for Sokolov, Grimaldi a season best for her in 12:69. And it is Ross who's claimed that 3rd position in the end, just getting there in front of Yashkova. So wonderful running by those top 3.
You could see at the start there's the different implements the women use to set themselves up. Now, we saw Sokolov yesterday in the Javelin, multi-talented athlete, and even though Suju had a fantastic start, what really matters is your ability to carry that speed through 70 to 100 meters, and that is what separated Sokolov. And great to see that throwers can run very fast.
Yeah, very good, and also good to see the young 17-year-old first major championship, Jill Ross, the German athlete who's qualified through to the final. Wonderful run from her. 12:78. Lifetime best as well. Season best and lifetime best all the way through. So 12:83 at the moment is that mark, and 12:95 is what we're looking for when it comes to those who are looking to go through as fastest losers. But 3 of them are definitely through.
So some very significant names coming up in the second heat of this T47. Particularly Li Lu, the former 400 meters champion. She goes in lane 5, bronze in the 400 at the Worlds last year. Maria Augusto upgraded that to a silver at the Pan Ams. But the 100 meters champion, the world champion, Kira Rodriguez, is the one to watch more than anyone else. An awesome world championship last year, the 100 on the long jump. She had that karate kick kind of long jump, didn't she? Which was absolutely fantastic. And then, having claimed those 2 golds in Paris at the Stade Charles, he went on to replicate that in Santiago at the Pan Ams. She is the long jump world record holder too. She goes in lane 7 in this. Li Lu, very good double in the Asian Games in Hangzhou at the end of last year in the 100 and the 400. Didn't do the hat trick this time around, which he had done in Jakarta in 2018. 29 she is now. Maria Augusto, silver in the Pan Ams and the 4th in the 100, the 200 and the long jump. Ida Louise Overland from a very good Norwegian team who have 10 here, still seeking her first major championship medal, actually on a global basis, seeking her first final. 6th in the 200 meters in Bydgoszcz and 7th in the 1 from the IK Hind club in Harstad, her hometown. She was a former youth footballer. And Shalaya, actually, in lane 4 is really well worth focusing on. She, in her time, has won 10 gold medals at the Southeast Asian Games. silvers in the two silvers in the most recent edition last year, but she had claimed 3 goals in front of her family in 2022. The 3rd consecutive Southeast Asian Games in which she had won a hat-trick. But here's Kotakov coming in the long jump. Silver in the Paralympic Games 3 years ago. Missed his effort in the first round. He's competing as a neutral athlete. Got a good distance on that at the very least, or a good height, good hang time.
It was good. You can see, though, he got a foul on his first jump. We're now into round 2. And clearly he chose a more conservative approach. So he was a little bit back from the board, so missed a little bit of distance, but he now is on the board with a mark.
He needed that 650. He is in 10th position. He is in big danger of not making it, though. Ishida coming now, 6:53 in the opening round. For the home athlete from Japan, who's going to be well watched and well supported. Well, definitely the lower tier here in the home straight is pretty full, which is lovely to see. We've had nice crowds. It's a 35,000 capacity stadium dating from the 85 World University Games, which in truth you'd be doing very well to fill. We had great crowds like that at the London World Championships in 2017, and hey, the Paralympic Games 5 years before that were very, very tasty. And actually, having been at all but one athletic sessions in both the Olympics and Paralympics in Rio, the Paralympics athletics crowds in Rio were generally larger than the Olympic Games. There's a reason for that. Anyway, here he comes, Ishida. Just wonder, yeah, red flag straight away. And not much doubt about it, he just was too keen, Stephanie.
Yeah, which is interesting, because just before he set off, you could see that he made a move to move back both of those markers.
Representing Norway.
Just a little bit giddy in the end. So we have this second heat, and in the women's 100 meters T47, Ida Louise Overland of Norway. In lane 4, the 10-time Southeast Asian Games champion. For Indonesia, Nanda May Shalaya. In lane 5, for China, the 2017 400 meters world champion Li Lu. In 6, for Brazil, the Pan Am silver medalist and the world championship bronze medalist last year, Maria Augusto. In lane 7 for Ecuador, the reigning 100 meters long jump champion, Cara Rodriguez, took those titles as well for Ecuador in the Pan Ams. And in lane 8 for Romania, 5th in the 400 meters, and the last Europeans in Bydgoszcz, Tabita Vultera.
Women's 100 meter T47 round 1, T2.
And Li Lu, of course, is the back-to-back 100 meters champion as well. This will be an interesting one. It's the top 3 and the next 2 to go through to the final. 12:95 is the fastest losers time. But the main task to get into the top 3 and not worry about that. It's Overland in 3, Shalaya 4, Li Lu 5, Augusto 6, Rodriguez 7, Vultera in 8. Another away first time. Shalaya got a great start for Indonesia, and Rodriguez is well away. Rodriguez and Shalaya, and Augusto comes down. Rodriguez and Augusto, 12:57. Li Lu is through as well, but Chiara Rodriguez may not have had the best start, but she certainly had the best finish. 12:56. Shalaya starting excellently. Overland was a little bit back as well, but Chiara Rodriguez winning that heat, that semi-final effectively. 12.56 for the defending champion. What a start in 4 by Shalaya.
Shalaya had a fantastic start, and you can see that neither Rodriguez nor Li Lu panicked too much. You can see here Li Lu was sensing the danger, and actually I do wonder if Overland may, hopefully Li Lu just out-dipped her. But it was a great response from Li Lu, not panicking. And you can actually see there just on her arm, she has what looks like a small weight. Suji of Japan also had it. And again, it comes back to this idea of just adding that little bit of weight to your arm just to balance out that stride.
We'll wait for the live scores to come in, but at the moment, Sol Cervantes is really dominating this final of the men's long jump. Matej Sajevic has moved up into the silver medal position. And it is only, from what I can see... Oh, well, you know what? Overland did dip past Lilu. Give you more details on that in a moment, but Overland actually did take third spot and is into the final. And the rest are out. Those who are hanging on survive.
Yeah, the two in that opening have come up with a better time than Lilu, who finished in fourth in that one. So she goes, as does the Kenyan here. Men's long jump. T47, Mutai. 5.96 with that opener. This jump number 2. 6.65 is his lifetime best, so he's going to be going some. 6.19, he has improved, but he's in 14th position. Must get into that top 8. He has some work to do. If he hit his lifetime best, he would be in the top 8. Just. So here's the man who's currently in 7th position. Alberto Perez of Argentina, getting the crowd in his corner. 6.71 so far. That one is nice. If that's a legal one, it is. And that's going to be much further, surely. Well, he got some air in that one. His 6.91 is his lifetime best. And this one was a wonderful jump onto the board. The white flag was up. That's lovely.
We've yet to really see this competition take off, but Perez is definitely one of the athletes who is jumping around his personal best, really making the most of the crowd and the conditions.
Well, I thought it was a bit further than that, so he's unlucky. He's only made 1 centimetre further than his original. Now, I suggest this man might be coming up with something big. Here's our world record holder and leader, 7.42. With his opener, Sol Cervantes.
The next jumper is from Cuba, Roger Yanquillo, the world record holder.
What can he do this time? Well, I'll tell you what he can do. He can come up with something big. If that is a white flag, which it is, he may well have gone well past the 7.42. Now, just keep in mind, the world record is 7.74. In Santiago, last year, he had a few more centimetres in him as well, but you'll take that. Wonderful kick through the air. Brilliant landing.
He has so much time in the air. He has room for a triple hitch kick.
Well, he's gone further ahead. He's made up another 18 centimetres. He's moving in on that world record he set last year, 7.60. He's 14 centimetres shy of it. But he is well out in front. 58 centimetres, in fact, ahead of Matejsevic in the gold medal position. As Townsend, with a season best 6.99 with his first, will get the crowd going, and off he'll go again. Well, he was tight to the board last time. Great to see his fellow competitors getting involved as well. Jump number 2. Well, that's up around the 7 metre mark. He was further back that time, so that'll be a white flag.
I was watching him from our commentary booth, and while he was waiting for the second jump, he did go and adjust his mark, and, well, hopefully it was his mark and not someone else's. Now, we know that Townsend gets great height on the jump, and he did there. And actually, it was interesting when you watch the athletes and you can see just how much taller he is than everyone else, probably about a full head length ahead of everyone else. But at the moment, he seems to be going up more than he's going out, and he just needs to change that trajectory a lot, because at his best, he is a 7.5-meter jumper.
Yeah, tough to go from high jump into long jump, isn't it, when you're loosely going up at that vertical way rather than horizontal. 6.99 remains. He doesn't improve on his opener. That one there, 6.90, so 9 centimetres down. He hasn't gone past that 7-metre mark yet. Here's the man is in 4th position, Asmani, the gold medalist from Beijing back in 2008. He's looking ahead to his jump, but also, no doubt, to Paris later this year. So Asmani's got them going with his slow clap that will build up, and he'll motor down the runway. Well, that one was quite a distance back. I think he didn't even get onto the board that time. So he'll need a little bit of work on that run-up as well.
If you've never had someone clap you down the runway, I have to say, the feeling, it's almost like you're getting this extra burst of energy, because if you think about it, sound is energy as well, the noise that you get, and you actually feel that in your body. Not every athlete likes it. Some athletes find that it throws off the rhythm. Some athletes will actually turn to the crowd and ask them to be quiet. But it is quite special, and I do think it gives you an extra 10%.
I'm looking forward to my jump later on when this session is finished and you clap me down.
I'll clap you up the steps of the commentating booth. How about that?
Kaki Mohammed of India, 6.40 with his second jump. That's probably around the same distance. Maybe got a few more centimetres he can get on the board there. 6.85 is his best that he set this year. So he's got almost a half metre left in him.
Kaki will know as well he has a big task ahead of him in round 3. As I said, this is an absolutely massive field. This man is all smiles because he is definitely feeling the rhythm. But these athletes are very aware they now have one more attempt to get themselves up into that top 8 position.
So there's confirmation of the women's 100 metres T47, the second heat. Chiara Rodriguez, Augusta da Silva and Overland, who pipped Liu by 0.02 of a second, go through. And that means that Li Lu also misses out on going through to the final, because Suji of Japan and Lutheran from the opening heat have made it through. So back to the track we go for the women's 100 metres T13 final. The least of the visual impairment categories. 4 to go in this one. Calvo, Valieva, Roras da Silva and Miyaga are the 4 who are going in this one. Good smattering of 400 metre runners as well in this. Valieva, the champion from Paris last year, will be looking to make it back-to-back. She won silver in the 2020 delayed Tokyo Paralympics. She also won gold over 400 metres last year as well. Did the 100-400 double.
Lane 4 from Costa Rica, Calvo,
Melissa Calvo of Costa Rica, who was 8th in Paris last year in the tail end of the final, behind this lady who was at the front, the reigning champion, Suarez de Silva, who took gold in the 400 back in 2019 in Dubai. And another lady who's competed in the 400 metres mainly in the past. Lifetime best of 14.16 is Gloria Majaga of Botswana.
Women's 100 T13 final starts now.
So Valieva is also the Paralympic and world champion in the 400 metres. He's now looking to make it back-to-back in the 100 metres. Championship and world record. Differing cities they were set in, from Lela Azdamatova of Ukraine. Calvo in 4, Valieva in 5, Suarez de Silva in 6, and Majaga in 7. And Valieva is absolutely blasted out of the blocks, but Suarez de Silva is coming back at her, but I don't think she's going to be able to make a mark on her. Valieva is out in front, Suarez de Silva in second place, and it's Valieva who takes it in a time of 11.91, and that will be a new championship record, taking it from Lela Azdamatova, who she set back in 2017. Majaga, I think, has taken third place. Suarez de Silva has definitely picked up second. It is a championship record, 11.94. It's been ratified as, and Suarez de Silva 12.41 in second. But what about getting out of the blocks there, Valieva? She absolutely blasted away.
To have that much of a lead that quickly in a 100 meters says so much about her speed and power and plyometric ability. And just a note about the field, we're used to seeing just 4 athletes in a T11 or a T12 final because each athlete is given 2 lanes. Now, it's not so in the T13. In Paris, there was a full final, and we are missing some of the athletes from there. But again, this is just the case of different athletes and different countries choosing to prioritize their effort elsewhere. But a brilliant win from Valieva, just off her personal best. And it's great to see her process. No smiles at the beginning. She looks more like a boxer getting ready for a fight. And finally, now out comes the smiles. Much deserved. Job well worth done there.
Well, she's made it back-to-back world titles. Gold last year. She's also the Paralympic champion in the 400 metres as well as the world champion in the 400 metres. So wonderful, wonderful stuff as we head back to the long jump T47.
And here goes Kazanov, 680 he's already got, and that's heading out around that mark again. He's in 6th position, so at the moment quite safe for now in terms of going all the way in the final. Absolute whopper from Sol Cervantes. Leading at 7.16, Matthias Savage second, 7.02, Townsend third, 6.99. Well, he's in there by around 10 centimeters for now. Wang and Pires particularly just hanging on with that 6.72. So Viltre of Cuba needs to find an extra 40 centimeters or so in this men's long jump. He's 13th right now. He's pushed it. May not be a major improvement for him. And that would be the end of his long jump. And we are moving on very quickly in this. .628. Lifetime best. Cannot ask better than that. The story of Abraham ends here.
It's nice to see there Sol Cervantes cheering on his teammate. And you're right, he will be a bit disappointed not to be getting those final 3 jumps, but he has come to a World Championships. He has set a PB, and hopefully on reflection, he is proud of what he delivered here.
So Kotikov, when you consider what he's done in his career, 650. Down 11th position. He missed in the opening round. That was a problem. Silver in the 100 meters of the last Europeans 3 years ago in Bydgoszcz. Bronze in the long jump in Tokyo at the last Paralympic Games in 2021. So Kotikov needs to find another 20-30 centimeters to get well beyond this. That is a lot more like it. That's what he wanted to do first time. He's heading out towards 7 meters, and that might just be survival for him into the second half of this final.
Even if you know nothing about long jump, you can just see visually the difference between when an athlete finds the rhythm. And yes, you'll see there that his foot was nowhere near the board, but it's so much more important to find your rhythm on the runway. That will get you farther every time than trying to sight the board.
He goes fourth. It's better than survival. He is 2 centimeters off the medals. Townsend remains third, Kotikov fourth. And he is up among the class that he wishes to be. Ishida has gone a 6.68 this year, and in his career beyond 7 meters. And something close to that would be very good news for him and for the home audience here, who, as you've seen from so many shots, have pretty much filled up the home straight, certainly in the bottom tier here. T47 final, remember, below elbow or wrist amputee category. Crowd firmly on his side. It could be no other way. Ishida for Japan. He's pushed that long. He's heading towards 7 meters. Is it a white flag? It is not a white flag. It's the end of the story for Ishida. There wasn't much margin in that. He had just crossed the divide and triggered the laser. He's in 11th spot.
Oh, and that's such a shame because that was such a good jump, and he will have just seen Kotikov launch himself from 11th all the way up to 4th, thinking I can do that as well, and he was so close to nearly putting himself into that top 8.
Well, he's heading out towards 680, now just short of that, and he wouldn't have made it. But perhaps he would have gone beyond and stayed in this final and had 3 more attempts. Bruno dos Santos has gone to 7:04 this year. 6:43 so far today. Over 30 centimeters or so to keep him going, to keep him in it. Might have gained a little bit, but only a little bit. And it's looking truthfully unlikely that Bruno will be able to go 3 more rounds.
Now, dos Santos is a 7-meter jumper, and regardless of what this jump comes up at, every athlete needs to have that experience of having to have that pressure. And even we can see that it wasn't quite enough, but this is an experience every athlete needs to have, because you need to know what it takes. He will find himself in this position again.
And Bruno is knocked out. Here's Mutai of Kenya, 6:19. Is his best so far. So 6:79 the target. Realistically 6:80 in terms of count back to get past Wang Hao of China. Currently in 14th spot. Really struggling. Bit of a body hop in that, and that'll be the end of it, and he knows it. He may well have hurt himself too, strapping on that left thigh already. And obviously restricted in terms of how he can launch himself, and restricted in terms of how he can put his arms out to try and protect himself. He's definitely sprung up that injury again.
The long jump is so tough on your body. Even if you aren't carrying an injury, the forces at takeoff range anywhere from 9 to 11 times the weight of your body. And so to try and carry on, and that's his takeoff leg as well, you can see where the strapping is. Unfortunately, it just wasn't going to be his day today.
At 6:08, he'll need a little bit of treatment there. The medical staff, who are very well trained, always doing additional training when we're coming in every day, will look after him. Next up, final of the men's 100 meters, T12. This is the medium category of visual impairment. It is up to 5% vision. And here's the champion from last year. Scored gold in the universal relay in the Paralympic Games in Tokyo and the previous Pan Ams in Lima in 2019, Noah Malone. 100 meters has produced so many good Malones over the past decade or so. So first of all, in lane 1, silver in the 100 in Paris last year. München Buja in lane 3, championship debut for Turkey. Great competition so far for Serkan Yildirim. In lane 5 for the United States, the reigning 100 meters world champion for the United States, based in Fishers, Indiana. It is Noah Malone. And in lane 7 for Great Britain, the European and world bronze medalist, Zach Shaw, originally from Grimsby. He was 4th. Previous Europeans. It's his 4th world championships as well, works as a personal trainer. So T12, a guide is optional, and because of that, only 4 in the final. I know in the case of Jason Smith, he didn't like being in the T12s. He preferred being in a full 8-man final, and perhaps the same way for Kashafali, who holds the world record in this, but he's back being a T13 again. So Buja in 1, Serkan Yildirim 3, Malone 5, Shaw 7. Final of the men's 100 meters, T12. False start. Yeah, there was a bit of shaking on the line. That may go down as interference on a yellow card. May go down as a false start. We'll see if the benefit of the doubt is given. We need to go a couple of seconds before that, I think. I think there was a little bit of rocking on the line. It might have been by Buja, I thought, visually, but I wonder if Serkan Yildirim, who is having a brilliant debut championship, was just slightly too keen in getting out there. I'm not sure with the naked eye it was a false start, but obviously the machines will tell all.
Well, in this particular event, for T11 to T13, the starting information system is turned on. It means that all athletes have to use blocks, and they are tracking reaction times. Now, it's not true for the other events, because if you are perhaps...
Yep, shake from 3, lane 3, Serkan Yildirim. I don't know if they'll put that down as a false start or as interference, and if it's interference, it's yellow.
So in the other events, for example, not all the amputees or not all the athletes with coordination and balance impairments will choose to use blocks. You can't have the start information system on for some and not for others. So in that case, it is a visual call by the starters. However, here they will have to go off what the starting information system shows them.
It is T12. It is quite strong visual impairment, but it is also elite sport, and it is quite ruthless. I do fancy it. Probably a yellow.
Show green card.
Yeah, green card. Everybody's okay. Not even a yellow.
Well, it's interesting. The reaction times have come up, and they are all legal.
Yeah, there was a little bit of jumping on the line, but it didn't trigger anything. So, everybody okay? Buja in 1, Serkan Yildirim in 3, Noah Malone in 5, Zach Shaw in 7. Shaw individually twice a major championship bronze medalist. He has won silvers in the universal relay. Noah Malone, the defending world champion. Yildirim having a brilliant debut campaign Boucher, silver in the 100 last year. This is a good quality field. Boucher in 1, Yildirim 3, Malone 5, Shaw 7. Final of the men's 100 metres, T12.
Fair.
Away, Yildirim has had a brilliant start in 3. And Malone is up with him. It's between Yildirim and Malone for the gold. Yildirim ahead, Malone trying to fight back. Yildirim, 10:53, a new championship record. And Serkan Yildirim is the world champion. He has edged out Noah Malone, a real sensation. An amazing victory. And Kashafali's championship record from 5 years ago has gone. Shaw picks up another major championship bronze, but Yildirim sensational, wins it by 0.02 of a second, and Noah Malone's world title has eluded him.
That might be the upset of the championships so far. All eyes would have been on Noah Malone, but Yildirim got out with him, and he just kept going. What, in the span of 2 days, Yildirim has lowered his personal best by almost 3/10. We weren't expecting this from the heat. He was the fastest qualifier, setting a PB, and he's just come and taken another 0.2 off that.
Great result as well for Zach Shaw, as he picks up another major championship bronze in the 100 metres. That's the 3rd of his career. But Serkan Yildirim, what a debut. World champion, championship record. 10 hundredths outside the world record of Salam Kashafali, and winning the title in Tokyo at the Paralympic Games in this T12. Kashafali is here again as a T13. He's been reclassified. He has his own story to write, but Serkan Yildirim, what an absolutely magnificent victory.
And you have to say as well, to do that at 32 years of age, he would have come in all eyes on Noah Malone, the 22-year-old. To see that kind of improvement in your 30s, that is spectacular.
Absolutely superb, and something that he is finding hard to take in. What a win, what a man, and what a bunch of men these are as well. The perennial champions are all here for the men's high jump T64, and last time out it was a tie for the gold between the best two around.
He'll be heading back to the track a little bit later. There's loads more to happen there. There's loads happening here though as well. Renu of India is the first to be introduced. We've got 9 who are starting in this one. Batasevic, who's running as a neutral. 182 is lifetime best. Derek Loxodon of the USA. He's a 192 jumper. The championship record holder at T64. Suzuki Tora of Japan. Giazov of Uzbekistan, he's a 201 jumper. We have 2 T64s going in this. The rest are T44s. Lepiato, the man who shared that gold last year with Jonathan Broome-Edwards. Praveen Kumar, 207 for him. Bronze last year. Uribe of Venezuela. And Broome-Edwards of Great Britain. 215 is lifetime best. Sharing that gold last year. Also took gold at the Paralympic Games back in 2020, silver in 2016, and he won the gold at the Dubai World Championships back in 2019, did the Briton. So 9 to go in that. We'll certainly keep you updated as we go through. And hopefully that's as good as it was last year.
Yes, Kim Yildirim winning the men's 100 metres T12 with that sensational championship record. A sensational win. Noah Malone, the outgoing champion, takes the silver for the United States. And Zach Shaw, another major championship bronze for Great Britain.
Women's 100 metres T13, the ratified results. Valieva with a championship record taking the gold. Only 2 medals in this one. Suarez de Silva picks up the silver appropriately.
As we continue in this men's long jump, T47. As you were, Robiel Sol Cervantes, the reigning Pan Am World and Paralympic champion, leading 7:60. How far can he go? Nemanja Matusevic of Serbia in second, 7:02, and Roderick Townsend third, United States 6:99. He's fantastic in the high jump, but in the long jump, he's not too bad either.
Men's 100 metres T37 final. 8 going in this one. Championship record holder Andre Verdovin is one of them. That man there to your right of screen though, Ricardo Gomez de Mendonca, the reigning champion. He's also the Parapan American Games champion as well. He'll be going in lane 4. Season best of 11:44 for him, which would match the championship record of Andre Verdovin, who'll be going out in lane 7. So a full house in this one. And you would have to think the man who's in the yellow third from the right there in lane 4 is going to be the one to beat. Al-Zarani of Saudi Arabia, he went through as one of the lucky losers as a qualifier from his heat. Lifetime best set this year in that one of 12.50. Malambo Ratchez of Colombia, bronze last year in the Parapan American Games. This man, the reigning champion, also the Parapan American Games champion. You expect something big from him here. Bronze in the 200 metres back in 2020 as well, so he runs that. Panomo, season best, winning his heat, took silver last year behind Gomes de Mendonca. Cavasante Pinheiro of Brazil, the second of Brazilians in this. He took bronze back in 2016 in Rio at his home games. Andre Verdovin, 8 European Championship golds, 9 World Championship golds. He's also the Paralympic champion in the 400 metres. And Al Akli of Saudi Arabia, 24 years of age, will go in lane 8. Suarez Cadona of Colombia, fastest qualifier as the lucky loser, will go out in lane 9.
37 final starts now.
So the coordination impairment category T37.
On your marks.
Men's 100 metre final. 8 to go. 1 to be crowned champion. Al-Zarani in 2, Malambo Ratchez in 3, Gomes de Mendonca in 4, Panomo 5, Cavasanti 6, Verdovin 7, Al-Akli in 8, and Suarez in 9. But they've been called up, and it was a second gun that went in the end to get them to stop. So they've gone quite a distance down the track. So let's work out what's happened with this one.
Yeah, I thought it was the far side. Maybe Al-Zarani full starting. It certainly looked to me as if there was an absolute full start there, certainly with my
Well, the officials have
eye.
got a busy night, haven't they? Let's have a look. Yeah, there's just a stutter in lane 2. Al-Zarani, the man who's standing on the start. Of course, they don't have to use the blocks, but Al-Zarani has made a slight movement with his upper body. They're a busy lot down there tonight, earning their money. Verdovin can see the funny side of things.
It's really difficult to have to, as you say, they have run pretty much half a race. You can see Edson there just walking back, and from where we see him, he's come back from the 50-meter mark. So you've already run part of a race, you've used quite a lot of energy, and you're now having to reset your mind. And it's a difficult situation for all the athletes, and the officials are going to have to make a call on what is the best decision that respects and honors the rights and the needs of every single athlete involved.
Well, there was 2 guns that had to go in the end, because the first one they just kept on going.
The thing is, you don't want to stop and get it wrong, and so they did exactly the right thing. I would keep running until I was positive.
Well, we might have a slight delay here.
And this is one of the challenges that come in this class. It is a T37 class. It's a coordination and balance impairment. And for Al-Zarani, who chose not to use blocks, you can just tell visually it is going to be a slightly unstable position. And this is exactly the reason why the start information system isn't turned on, because you are potentially going to get a few little twitches and movements in the block, not related to the athlete, simply related to the impairment.
Yeah, let's just remind our viewers it is a coordination impairment category, but let's just have a look at that start again, shall we? Just look to your far right, the man who's standing. He just slightly moves there before he actually takes off.
And it's a difficult situation because you can tell there wasn't an intent, I don't think, to start. It was just he was having to rebalance.
Line 2.
Well, if they're going to be consistent from our last race, it'll be a green card.
Show card. Red and black.
2.
Well, they've shown the red. So he's trying to explain, Al-Zarani, what happened. But the officials are saying that he pushed forward. From what I'm looking at down there. Now let's have a look at a different angle. Well, he does slightly move forward, but he didn't break the plane of the start line. However, he's got to accept the judge's decision. He shakes hands with his fellow Saudi Arabian athlete in Al-Nakli, who's going in lane 8. And, well, we go from 8 starters
On your marks.
down to 7. Just like that. So it'll be Malambo Raches in 3, Gomez de Mendonca in 4, Panomo in 5, Calvasanti Pinero in 6, Verdobin in 7, Al-Nakli in 8, and Suarez Cardona will go in lane 9. For the second time of asking. Well, there's been a bit of controversy tonight already. 2 races in a row. But we are now ready. And this time they're away, and getting away very quick was Verdobin, but also now flying through is Gomez de Mendonca, and on his outside it's Panomo, who's looking good. Verdobin's coming through, but it's going to be the Brazilian Gomez de Mendonca. He takes it in a time of 11.30 seconds, and that will be a new championship record, taking it away from the man who's in screen there, Andre Verdobin. It was a wonderful run from Panomo as well coming through, but that man there, Gomez de Mendonca, Verdobin a season best in second, Panomo a season best for him in the bronze medal position, but a championship record from the man who has defended the title he won in Paris last year. He didn't get off to the fastest start. Panomo got away quick, as did Verdobin, but he just came through the middle 30 metres and powered to victory.
It was a very even start across the board. And we said it a few times in the sprints. There are 4 different phases, and really in the 100 meters, what you see is it comes down to that top end speed. And when he ran his heat yesterday, he already knew he was through to the final, and you could see him shutting down. It was very smooth. Even then, it was incredibly fast, 11:49. And he's come back after what could be called a difficult circumstance. Actually, you could call it a primer. And some athletes will do that before the race, have what you call a blowout run, just to get everything firing. All the athletes got that by benefit of that false start, but brilliant run by Gomez de Mendonca.
Yeah, wonderful run as we look back to Kotakov, who's at the long jump, T47. We are into the final 8 jumpers.
And it is round 4, 6.97, which was his third round attempt, which was all about survival, and put him only 2 kilos, 2 centimeters off the medals. Now, 7 meters would get him back up there. He'd be in the top 3, surely. That is a brilliant effort by Kotakov. Wang Hao has moved up to 7.25. It was very close. It was very, very close, 7.02. And he goes past Townsend. That puts him up into 4th. Wang Hao, 7.25. Now in the silver medal position. Kotakov putting a lot into it. And he goes 4th above Townsend.
Now I feel like we're really starting to see this competition heat up, especially with that massive move by Wang from 8th all the way into 2nd.
And on count back, because Kotakov had that really good effort in the previous round, he's gone level in terms of the marks on 7.02 with Maciej Savic. Kotakov on count back goes into the bronze medal position. Townsend now has dropped suddenly from bronze down to 5th. Needs to go beyond 7 meters. That isn't quite it, and he knows it. Townsend this year has gone 6.89. He has surpassed that in terms of a season's best, but needs to go beyond 7 meters in order to get back on the podium in this. 6.56 it is.
He's just not quite finding his rhythm and that transfer of power, but there is still time to work it out. We saw Kotakovic do it as he was able to add about half a meter to his distances in the early rounds. So Townsend now really needs just to regroup. He is a 7.5 meter jumper at his best, and he can bring himself back into those medals.
So Maciej Savic with that 7.02 in the second round had been in the silver medal position. Now he's out of the medals, trying to go up again towards 7 meters. He's been overtaken by Wang Hao, and on count back by Nikita Kotakov, who matched him in the 4th round. .698 would have put him back into the medals on count back, but 6.79 is not going to do that. Maciej Savic in 4th, Townsend 5th. And here's our leader. 7.60 from Sol Cervantes, and looking for more.
The featured player for this event is on lane 5, United States of America, Blackwell Jaden, who has a best personal.
So round 4 it is for the Cuban, who holds all the titles so far. And the world record of 7.74 set in winning the Pan Am Gold in Santiago last year. The 7.60 beating the 13-year-old championship record set by Ano Asumani in winning gold in Christchurch in 2011. Sol Cervantes. That's another major one. Is that beyond 7.60? He's put a great amount into it, definitely.
What I really like about Sol Cervantes' run-up is that if you were looking at that head-on, you would actually have no idea that he was on a long jump runway and not in a 100-meter final.
7.55 it was as we go into the final of the men's 100 meters T38. So in lane 2, the Paralympic 400 meters champion from Mexico, Jose Ticiani. In lane 3 for Colombia, silver in the Pan Ams last year in Santiago, Santiago Solis. In lane 4 for France, silver in the 100 meters in the last Europeans in Bydgoszcz, Dmitry Yazvitsky. In lane 5 for the United States, the reigning 100 meters world champion, Jaden Blackwell. In lane 7 for Great Britain, the reigning European and Paralympic champion, Thomas Young. In lane 7 for the United States, the reigning Pan Am champion, 100 and 400, Ryan Medrano. in lane 8 for China. The Asian Games silver medalist, the world champion in the long jump, Zhao Peng. And in lane 9 for the United States, the reigning T37 Paralympic champion, Nick Mayhew. Golds in the 1, the 2 and the universal relay. Our old friend Evan O'Hanlon, the championship record holder from Lyon in 2013. Hugh Jianwen with the world record from Rio 2016. What a field this is. They have all won major championship medals. A lot of them gold. And quite a lot of them are reigning champions. Blackwell, Young, Medrano, Zhao Peng, Mayhew, all currently holding crowns. Blackwell, all business, the former footballer from Oak Park in Detroit. Mayhew, former footballer with DC United, he was that good. And Medrano, who discovered parasport through Survivor USA. He was on with a Paralympian in it. Chisanian 2, Solis 3, Yuzvitsky 4, Blackwell 5, Young 6, Medrano 7, Zhao Peng 8, Mayhew 9. A big stacked men's 100 meters final, T38. Way the first time a basket. Great start by Blackwell in 5, and also Zhao Peng going well for China here. But it's Blackwell away. Blackwell's going to do it again. Young in second. 10.84 the winning time. The championship record of Evan O'Hanlon is gone. And Jaden Blackwell has back-to-back world titles. 10.86 it is. Young in second. Zhao in third. Thomas Young does it again. Well, having finished 7th in the 100 meters final last year, Young has really pushed up brilliantly. Zhao gets the bronze. Yuzvitsky 4th, but Blackwell has got a lot to dance about. He retains the world champion. The man from Detroit. Put your hands up for him. He's done it again.
Blackwell said he had been working on his start, and that certainly was a great start for him. But again, I feel like a broken record, but it's so important. It is that top-end speed in 100 meters that really sets you apart. But I am so happy for Thomas Young. He's our Paralympic champion from Tokyo. 7th at the World Championships last year, but to come back and now take the silver. And he has been working hard already this season. Young ran 7 100-meter races, 10 60-meter races. Young is doing all he can to come back and give Jaden Blackwell a run for that title in Paris 2024.
His mother, Rochelle Davis, put him forward to be a Paris sprinter after his qualities shown in football in Detroit at college level and high school level. And in terms of sprinting, he has now become a back-to-back 100 meters world champion. Thomas Young as well, who holds the European and the Paralympic crowns, getting the silver. And Zhao Peng, the long jump world champion, picking up bronze as we go into the high jump. And Uni Reni of India needed 3 attempts at 186 and at 190, and he's going to need at least a second. Everybody is still in it. That's his first miss at 186. Lepiato and Broome Edwards, the defending champions, are yet to go. L'Occident going now at 190, having cleared 186 at the first attempt. It is a big field of 16. This is going to go on quite a bit. 190, not quite for the American Derek L'Occident.
I've been so excited for this men's high jump because this is one of the biggest fields I can ever remember for the high jump. There was a time when this event only had about maybe 3 or 4 people in the mix, and it was in danger of being dropped from the program. And now we've gone up to 9. Derek L'Occident, he has a very busy championships ahead of him, competing in the high jump, the long jump, the javelin, and the 100 meters. Now, we'll know him from the World Championships last year in the long jump, because that's where he came silver, and he is now branching out and trying all sorts of new things.
And gears off, clears up 190. The silver medalist in the 2019 World Championships in Dubai for Uzbekistan. A 2:01 is his lifetime best. He's got a bit of climbing to do, literally, and he's done that really well.
Now you will see that some athletes in this event are competing with prosthetic legs and some are not. This is a men's T64 event, which is for athletes lower limb impairments that use prostheses, but T44 athletes are also eligible.
So the 5-time world champion, one of the 2 reigning kings, Maciej Lepiato of Poland, is going to go now. He enters at 190. It's not unusual for him to go a little bit later, but he wants to get in now. Bartoszewicz and Suzuki are both out, by the way. Lepiato, among the favourites, is the first to enter. 190 for the pole. Over by a long way. No fear of that. He has his foundation. We may well not see him until 198. He may elect to skip the next one, but he has one on the board, and that's all he needed to do. And you see the struggles elsewhere. That is a quality leap. Speaking of which,
men's long jump T47 as we head back. Matejcevic currently in 4th position, 7:02, his best. And that one isn't going to be as far.
Now, Matejcevic is in that frustrating position of having actually jumped the same distance as the athlete currently in 3rd position, but where there is a tie, they then look to the next best jump. So his 2 options are to either jump farther than 7:02 outright or to get a better backup jump.
Women, shot put F37.
Well, here's the man who is quite simply the best at the moment by some distance. 35 centimetres in front of Wang. This is his penultimate jump. World record holder. Current leader. Robiel Solcervantes of Cuba.
Representing People's Republic of China.
He's got a marvellous technique. The 21-year-old world record holder. Well, that's long. There's going to be a question mark now on where he jumped from. They're just having a little look at the moment. The flag hasn't gone up. It was tight to the board. Yeah, the red flag's gone. It looked long as well. He went for it that time.
Oh, no, that is a shame because that was so close, and that jump really was pushing out towards the 8-meter mark. The Cubans have always been known for their plyometric ability. They're just so good at producing athletes, quality athletes in the long jump and the triple jump.
And it would have counted as well because he was into a headwind.
There's always that regret for long jumpers of what could have been had it just been called, but he still will have one final attempt.
Did I say a headwind? I meant a tailwind. It would have counted anyway. +1. Let's have another look.
Again, another athlete where that transition from run to takeoff is almost imperceptible. That really is the sign that the athlete is carrying with them the maximum amount of speed. That's why he has the height to do that triple hitch kick.
Yeah, that was his earlier one. That was the one where you got 7.60, but he was very tight to the board. Then he's just showing how much he missed by just by a whisker. Indeed, if he pulled back another 10 centimetres, he would have been absolutely fine. So Wang, currently in 2nd position, 7.25. Almost took the camera out. Pulled away just in time. It's his final jump. He rocketed up, didn't he, Wang?
Wang has been the story so far, and it really shows things can change at any moment in a field event. They're not perhaps quite as dynamic as the sprints, but you have to watch, you have to see the story from finish to end, and he shows that you really can go from 8th all the way into a podium position.
Yeah, he's currently in that silver medal position at the moment. 7:53 is lifetime best. He's hit 7 on the mark there, so he won't improve, but he stays in that silver medal position. He's got to wait, though, for 7 others to jump now to see if he can cling on to silver or, at worst, pick up a bronze. There goes Kasanov. He's in 8th, and that's pushing out towards the 7-meter mark. 680 is his best so far. And they're quite tight. There's only 22 centimetres between 3rd place and 8th.
It did feel like this competition took a little while to get going, but it's certainly got much more interesting now. And if you're wondering why Wang has gone so early in the order, even though he's in 2nd now, it's because when they did the reordering, he was down in 8th.
So 663, he'll finish in 8th position. Well, Amadek Kasanov. Colombia's Meso Ochoa. He's got 20 centimetres to make up if he wants to get himself into the medals. Well, that looks all right. Not quite going to be long enough, though. He clattered into that board and got the jump fine, but just couldn't find that extra distance he needed. He's been consistent in his jumping. Started off with a 646, then he's gone 683, 661, 675, and 660. And this one has come in at 671. So he stays 7th. We're whittling them away as we head towards the business end. Asamadi, go back 16 years, he was claiming gold in Beijing. Can he lift himself up here? He needs to find about 16 centimetres. Well, that's good. Don't think it's going to be enough. It's up around that 7-metre mark, but I don't think it's going to be over it. I think he knows it as well.
That was a good competitive effort. It's sometimes hard because you don't always quite have the right angle. First thing you do as an athlete out of the pit, you check if you've gotten the white flag. He has gotten the white flag, and so he'll have a bit of a wait to see where that comes.
Yeah, it's come up as 690. It'll pop up onto the screen in a moment or two's time, but he has improved, but he hasn't actually raised his position any higher than 6th. So he'll stay where he is.
Women's 200-meter T35.
And next up, it's the
Heat 1.
man who won high jump gold last year in Paris 2023, who's now looking to try and find a medal.
Representing Poland, Javelin.
In the long jump, he won gold back in 2016 in Rio to Roderick Townsend. He'll be up in a moment or two's time to see if he can come up with something. But here's Kotikov, who's currently in 3rd position. Oh, that's nice, that one. And he's been given the white flag. That is way out there. Well, this will be interesting. It's blown through the air.
That was absolutely massive. That is an athlete who took a little bit of time to find his rhythm at the beginning. That one definitely looked to be beyond 7 meters. That one is clearly on the board. That's what it looks like to work your way through a competition.
Well, it's big indeed. He's found the extra he needed. It hasn't taken him up into the gold medal position, but he's moved up to silver. He's moved ahead of Wang. 7:32 for Kotikov with his final jump. And he's currently sitting in the silver medal position. Wang relegated down to bronze for the time being. Nervous times for the man from China. There are two more who can usurp him. Vitasevic is one of them. He has to find about 24 centimetres. And he won't, because he's gone way over the board. That is a red flag, so he will finish in at least 4th position. Well, the man who took silver last year, Townsend, has a chance to still get himself up into a medal position.
Well, actually, I think we're looking at Sol Savante on the runway, and I'm getting an R on my screen, and Townsend did make a little bit of a motion to his coaches, and I'm done. Maybe there was an injury or something else going on there?
Well, there might be, because he's got the, obviously he's the high jumper first and foremost, so perhaps there was an issue which has come up with Townsend, so Wang, on that front, has been assured of the bronze medal. Konakov will take silver. This man is guaranteed of the gold medal. The question is, though, how much further can he go? He will put everything into this one. Nothing to lose. And that is over the mark and a red flag. So a foul there for Sol Cervantes, but he will take the gold medal. Picked up the world record last year in the Pan American Games. He's now added a gold medal. Heading into the Paralympics later in the year, he has now taken the World Championship gold. That man there, Wang, has taken bronze, and Kotakov, with a quite wonderful final jump, has lifted himself into the silver medal. But there is your winner. Disappointment at the end. Wanted to break his own record, no doubt. But you have to be happy picking up that gold.
Now, you can see on his face he wanted more. And actually, on that final run on the long jump, I was watching it live as opposed to on the screen. And actually, it looks so much faster live. When you're watching it through the screen, you can't quite appreciate how much speed he is actually generating on that runway. But as a whole event, that was fantastic. What a fantastic advertisement for field events. It was a slow starter, kind of thinking, oh man, is this going to get going? And then suddenly those final 2 rounds, you see all that movement, those big jumps coming.
And
that is a final to get excited about.
It moved along at a rapid pace as well.
So now let's go back to the high jump. Broom Edwards and Lepiato have gone in at 194. Loxodon also 194. His second attempt at 198. Needs this. Gets it. He's up in the medals for now. He is up for it. And how? He has smashed his lifetime best twice today. And that is a championship record for a T64, as there are a couple of categories together in this. That was fantastic. He is in the lead for now, but the rest are still to come. Praveen Kumar is also cleared 194. This is Giyazov. One miss already at 198 here. This is second. Well, he's going to have to need a third go. Giyazov. His name somehow reminds me of Bernard Hill. Passed away a few days ago. So Loxodon 198. The rest still having to go at that. Broom Edwards and Lepiato. So we've had one heat of the women's 200 meters T35. Preeti Pal of India's won that. Lifetime best 30.30. Go in second and Kibble in third. They are all through. Isabel Furter is going to have to wait. That happened a few moments ago. We've asked, by the way, if we can show you it. And that's a negative. So this is the second heat. And it features the reigning Asian Games World and Paralympic champion Zhu Jia, who has won the last 2 Paralympic 200 meters crowns, the last 2 Asian Games 200 meters crowns, and she's the reigning world 100 and 200 champion. She goes in lane 7 in this. Ellen Westling from Sweden is in 8. And Suwaid of Iraq, bronze in the 100 and 200 in the Asian Games
Women's 200
last year in Hangzhou.
round 1.
This is Ellen Westing of Falu IK. She's a clubmate of the Callow sisters, Susanna and Jenny. Great hurdlers in the time. Ellen Westling goes in 8 for Sweden. In 7 for China, the reigning Asian world and Paralympic champion Zhao Jia. 4-time Asian champion, 4-time Paralympic champion, twice world champion. In lane 6 for Iraq, 4th in the 100 and the 200 last year in Paris, Fatima Suwaid. In lane 5 for Poland, 5th in the 100 and the 200 in last year's Worlds, Ingrid Renechka. And in lane 4 for Kazakhstan, trying to reach her first ever World Championship final, Saltanat Abil Kasimixki.
Women's 200 meter T35.
So it's the women's 200 meters T35. It is the second heat of 2. What a fantastic victory for Preeti Pal of India just a few moments ago in the first of the heats.
On your marks.
It's the top 3 and the next 2 to go through, and it's Isabella Forder who's left waiting for the moment of Germany. So Abel Kasimixki in 4, Renechka 5, Suwaid 6, Shajan 7, and Westling in 8. And they're away at the first time of asking. What a very good start by Xu Jia, this T35. And Xu Jia, the world record holder, the woman who beat Isis Holt when Holt was unstoppable and unbeatable, while Xiao Jia took account of that. Suwaid is doing well for Iraq in 6, and Renechka for Poland has moved up well also, but Xiao Jia is on the way. It's going to be Xiao Jia, Suwaid, and Renechka. That'll be the 1, 2, 3, and in that order, it's going to be a decent time. 31.98. Xu Jia wins it. Suwaid in 2nd, Renechka in 3rd spot. Abel Kasimixki in 4th, and Ellen Westling in 5th, the 16-year-old for Sweden. So Zhao takes the victory quite well, and Suwaid, it's good to see her up there after that Asian Games double bronze win in Hangzhou at the end of last year. But hey, Xiao Jia, the woman who upset Isis Holt, and she is really setting good standards here.
It was interesting to watch the athletes as they came down the home straight. You could definitely see Renechka looking around, each of the athletes wanting to do just enough, but not too much. We're only actually losing one of the athletes, and they're going to have to come back and repeat the final. And at 200 meters, it does take it out of you. There can be some buildup of some lactic acid, and so again, it's that difficult choice as an athlete, as wanting to do enough to guarantee your spot, but not so much that you're tired for the final.
Lepiato skipped 194. He is going now further on. He skipped 198 as well. We're on to 201. Loxodon is leading at 198. Broome Edwards also skipped 198.
So Lepiato with his first attempt at 201, which would put him into the lead. Oh, there was never a doubt, was there? Never a doubt. Well, he's thinking it was a bit iffy. It looked pretty good. Maybe a bit early with the takeoff, but we have plenty of space there. And Loxodon finds himself back into the silver medal position. A championship record for him, for Loxton. Now he's in the T64 category, of course. Well, the long jump's finished.
Now,
here's our man who was disqualified a little bit earlier.
He is being allowed a go, and he will have to hit a certain time, won't he, because of the disqualification here.
So there's the disqualification from our race a little bit earlier. The Saudi Arabian athlete Al-Zarani, who was disqualified after being told that he moved on the start enough to break it. Now, at the time we thought it was a bit harsh. Green card maybe, yellow card, but he was given a red.
Well, remember, this is a final as well.
So he's going to have to find the time to put himself up into a position of a medal.
Now, bronze is 11.63 for Panomo. Now, we've seen race-offs like this at the likes of the World Athletics Championships and the Europeans. I've never seen it for a final. It's a time trial, and he has to break 11.63 in order to win a medal.
But also, he's running against himself. He's got no one else to run against. He's against himself, and he has to make sure that he gets that time. And if he does get that time, I suspect there might be a counter-protest.
Here comes Loxton. Interesting times. He's had one miss at 2:01. He's had two misses at 2:01. It happens so swiftly. The door is set to slam on him. There's only 4 left in the competition. Praveen Kumar is the other one who's in it. Praveen Kumar skipped 198. He had one miss at 2:01. And it may be that Lepiato and Broom Edwards will be jousting for the gold between them so quickly.
It's interesting looking at the shape of Loxton's prosthetic leg. You can see the curve on the back of that blade sticks out quite a bit. So as he is trying to go over the bar, he has to keep in mind he needs that extra bit of clearance to make sure that that prosthetic leg is not hitting the bar off.
Just while we're waiting for that, we're just going back to that men's 100 metres T37. You're talking about he needs to get 11.62 or 11.63 to equal Panomo, who took the bronze medal in that one. His best time, Al-Zarani, lifetime best, is 12.40. So to get to that, he's going to have to do something special.
Praveen Kumar, bronze last year behind the tide of gold in Paris of Broom Edwards and Lepiato. 2:01. He too has had a couple of misses. Now, as it stands, Loxton, because he cleared 198 and Kumar did not. Kumar skipped it. Loxton is in the bronze medal position and Praveen Kumar is in 4th. And now a unique race.
Now look, I've never had to call a race with one person in it, so this is going to be a first for me as well. Salma Al-Zarani against the clock. His lifetime best is 12.40. It's just being explained to the crowd as to why this is going to happen. So the race has already been run. If you're joining us, this man here on the screen, Al-Zarani, was disqualified for moving at the start.
On your marks.
He's now going to have to run. His lifetime best is 12.40. He's now going to have to come up with something quite special if he needs to try and claim a medal. 11.63 is what third place Santiago Panomo picked up. So he's against no one but himself is Dama Al-Zarani. He has yet to get a time. He's going to have to come in with something big, and it isn't going to be that. So he's going to miss out. 12.41. He's just outside his own lifetime best, which was 12.40. He did go through as a qualifier. He's protested. He's been given a chance to run the race by himself, and he has done just that, but he hasn't done enough to get himself up into the medal positions. In effect, he will finish in 8th position anyway.
This is last chance saloon for Praveen Kumar. He must clear it, and he almost did. Well, that's 3 misses, and Praveen Kumar finishes in 4th place, and we're down to the last 3. Derek Loxodet is in the bronze medal position. It's just the ankle almost. Most of him was over. So close to clearing it. 2:07 is lifetime best, 2:05 is season's best. So Praveen Kumar has had 3 misses in a row at 2:01. He cleared 194 and he finishes in 4th spot. Loxodet with his 3rd attempt getting 2:01 along with Lepiato and Broom Edwards. Neither of those two have a miss yet, and they are tied in top spot. They both cleared 2:01. At the moment they're on course to maybe tie again.
It couldn't happen again, could it?
It could
Well, not with
very easily
Loxodet.
happen again.
Now we have Loxodet in the mix. I feel like we're so used to seeing Lepiato and Broom Edwards duke it out on their own, but just Loxodet came in with a personal best of 1.92 meters. He is now a 2-meter jumper. He can't believe it. He's actually working quite hard to keep his emotions under control, but he is just such a talented athlete, an American football player, Division I, and we know that they are strong and powerful and fast and agile, and he probably could have turned his hands at any event that he wanted. As it is now, he's going to be competing in the high jump, long jump, javelin, and 100 meters. This is just the start of the championships for Loxodet.
Might as well get his money's worth.
Well, he's flown all this way out here.
Been a long jump silver medalist as well. But now he's found something else he's good at. So Loxodet could actually go in front here with a 2:04. He's had so many lifetime bests today. Don't know if that's his limit, but one way or another, he's going to get a high jump bronze.
It's quite interesting to see. I was curious to see which leg he was going to jump off of, because in the long jump, most of the blade jumpers will take off their blade, and we haven't actually had that many blade jumpers in the high jump, so Loxodet really is in new territory at the moment.
Indeed he is. Men's 100 metres T37. Now that Al Zarani has run, he finished in 8th position despite running by himself. Championship record to Gomez de Mendonca. Verdovin season best with silver, and Panomo with the bronze medal. Let's not write off Loxodet just yet, because 2:01 he had 2 fouls and then he cleared it, so it is possible.
Well, Marcel Hoog is not here, but if you're watching, very good evening. Men's 5,000 metres T54 final, and we have got a really good field all the same, despite the greatest, the silver bullet, not being here for it.
Men's 5,000 meters.
It's a field of 8.
Final. Representing Japan.
None of them have claimed a global goal before. Ryota Yoshida, the veteran now, 42. He goes in lane 1 for Japan. Championship debut in 2 for China's Ma Zhu. In his 6th World Championship, the 2013 5,000 meter silver medalist Mayuki Okuchi of Japan. In lane 4 for Kuwait, silver in the 800 and last year's World Championships in Paris, Faisal Al-Rajeki. In lane 5 for the UAE, still awaiting his first global medal for the first time, Badr Abbas Al-Hassani. In lane 6 for Thailand, the Asian Games champion over 1,500 meters, Southeast Asian Games silver last year in the 4, Saichen Kongen. Global championship debut in 7 for Liu Xingchan. And in lane 8 for Austria, 6th place in the 1,500 meters final. In the last Europeans in Bydgoszcz for Ludwig Malta of Austria. So none of these 8 have ever won a global gold. Saichen Kongen has claimed 13 silvers and 11 bronzes globally, but never a gold. This might be his day. Final of the men's 5,000 meters T54. somebody out of these 8 will be a world champion for the first time. Lu Xingjian making a bit of a move. He's only 21, the young Chinese rider, going straight out to the front straight away. Ma Zhu as well, he was 24, moving up into second spot. China with 2 in it, and Japan have got 2, Thailand, Austria, UAE, Kuwait, all represented in this. 12 laps to go. Really has shot out strongly as Lu here. Well, he has a point to prove. Yoshida moving up into second place for Japan, and temporarily Higuchi had as well in third, but Al-Rajaki of Kuwait has made his move up into second spot as they're in the back straight. He's opened up a lead of around 20 meters or so. That is quite something. Lu does not have a season's best to his name. His lifetime best is outside 10 minutes, and 5 of them are around 9.5. This is really, really good going by Lu, and we've got 11 laps to go.
Now, I find this race incredibly exciting, and part of it is the fact that none of the big names are here. That's what makes it so exciting. For so long, we've been pretty much seeing the same race plan. Marcel Hugh goes to the front, and everyone gets behind him, and then at the end, they try to get around him. And in this case, I have absolutely no idea what is going to happen, and seeing Luo go out right to the front, trying to push on this pace. We had a bit of a chat with Hannah Cockcroft down trackside and asked her what she thought of the track, and she said it was a little bit bumpy, so possibly not the fastest track for wheelchair athletes.
Lepiato, he's missed it at 2:04 once. He's now missed it twice. So Jonathan Broome-Edwards cleared 2:04 at the first time of asking. Loxodon also has 2 misses at 2:04, along with that man there, Lepiato. He'll have one more chance. Otherwise, Jonathan Broome-Edwards will be crowned champion. That man on the strut there. So it's all getting rather tasty at the top end of this high jump. Loxodon with his final attempt. He has a championship record in the T64 category. He's gone further than he's ever gone before. That man is going to have to come up with something special. Shared the gold medal with Jonathan Broome-Edwards last year in Paris.
I wonder if it's the same kind of book like Ollie Schlager's. Anyway, they're all back together in this 5,000 meters final, but Lu is still out in front, and now it's a bit of cat and mouse. Al-Rajaki of Kuwait is in alongside, and now Lu goes again. It's almost like devil take the hindmost. We've still got 9 laps to go in this 5,000 meters final. Lu leading and Ma in third spot. New names at these World Championships. New names in a major championship anyway.
Now, this is fascinating. You can see the 2 athletes at the front of this pack have actually stopped pushing, and it's interesting to see the way that Lu is constantly putting in these little attacks, just seeing who's going to do what, if anyone feels like taking it on. And at the moment, everyone is just waiting, looking at someone else to take the move. And as you said, this is a real opportunity for someone to come in and win a world championship title with Marcel Hugh and the rest of the athletes not here.
Now Ludwig Malter on the outside. Looks like he's pulling out. That's a pity. Just a little bump, and there he fell. Malter down. He's picked up a bit of an injury. That is a bit of a shame. He's a really good young competitor. He's still only 23, but Ludwig Malter is out of this men's 5,000 meters final, and he is unable to continue. Lots of support from his area, lots of support from his family, his mother Veronica, who travels with him to a lot of competitions. Well, that's hard lines for young Ludwig, and best of luck next time. Hopefully it's not affected the chair very much, or him. The main race at the front. China 1, Kuwait 2, UAE 3, and Lepiato trying to be number 1 again.
Yeah, Lepiato, I can tell you the Loxodon has cleared 2:04 with his final attempt, so he's in second position. Lepiato has to get this here, or he is out. And he is out, he is gone. and he may well have injured himself. He hit that bar quite hard as he went over. He appears okay, so he'll finish with a bronze medal after last year sharing the gold with Jonathan Broome-Edwards. So Loxton has increased his championship record to 2:04. He's still in the competition after clearing 2:04 at the third time of asking, as he did with 2:01. But that man there from Poland, Maciej Lepiato, is out. Picks up a bronze medal to add to that shared gold from last year. And Loxton will now look to increase his mark up to 2:07. Broome-Edwards in the background there as well, just being asked to move out of the way as the T54s come around near the high jump area. So there were 3, now we have 2. This here, the Broome-Edwards jump made a little bit earlier when he cleared 2:04, and didn't he clear it well?
Broome-Edwards said he has been working on his speed and technique at takeoff. He's only actually had one competition before this one this season, and it was 1:97. So already 2:04, he has shown up to these championships. He did say he wanted to get the gold on his own this time. I don't think he expected this man to be with him at the end.
Well, here goes Derek Loxton. He's at 2:07. In his last 2 attempts at 2:01 and 2:04, he has fouled the first 2, and he's made it on the 3rd and final attempt each time. What can he do at 2:07? Well, he's clattered into the bar. He's having a look and wondering what went wrong there. He's got 2 more attempts though, and Broome-Edwards will also be up next, and he'll attempt to clear that 2:07 marker as we head back to the track. And the T54, as they come around, they'll have 4 laps remaining when they hit the finishing line in a moment or two's time.
1,700 meters to go. It's Liu who leads for China. Sai-Chan Kongchen has been biding his time. That's him on the inside. He's actually 3rd. Alisani on the outside in 2nd spot for the UAE, who has never won a major championship medal before. Liu in his championship debut has obviously never won one before. Al-Rajahi, the same. Ma, the same. Kongchen has been here and done it before. He's done it at continental level. Kongchen has also done it at Southeast Asia level. Broome-Edwards, here he comes.
Well, Broome-Edwards has hit the bar. Well, he looked really strong on his last one. But at the moment, he's missed his first. We'll come back to that. But in the meantime, we'll come back to this.
Next time around, it'll be 3 laps to go. It's Liu out in front. Alisani in the 2nd place. Kongchen on the inside. Now it's accelerating a bit. So 1,200 meters remaining and 3 laps it is. And it's Liu Jingchuan, the 21-year-old from China. His global championship debut. He's making good ground, but now it's Al-Rajahi on the outside. Silver in the 800 in the World Championships last year. That's worth pointing out. His only global medal. None of them have a global gold to their name. So Al-Rajahi out in front, and Liu and Ma are now together in 2nd and 3rd for China. It's Liu on the inside and Ma on the outside, and Al-Rajahi biding his time well. 2 Japanese, Yoshida and Uguchi, looking to pounce as well. But Al-Rajahi bringing them through. Liu just behind him in 2nd, and Ma 3rd with 2 laps to go.
Now, on paper, I would have said that Al-Rajahi was the one to look at. And you can see he has now positioned himself at the front with 2 laps to go. We saw with Malter just what can happen when you get any contact. You could see that wheel coming up just behind. Now, with Al-Rajahi in the front, he's looking back. He's checking just to make sure there are no accelerations coming behind him. He's looking for someone right now, Liu, who might just look to come past him there. But with him in the front and those chairs being about 1.5 to 2 meters long, anybody that's going to come past him is going to have to make up that distance.
It's Al Rajahi who leads. The bell is on the way. Lewis on the outside, Ma on the inside. Congen ready to pass as well. A past master with all of those world medals to his name before, 11 of them in history, but none of them have been gold. Al Rajahi taking it up. Ma in second place. Lou in third. Winding it up well. Congen now beginning to move on the outside and looking dangerous. He's pounced so many times, but for Thailand, he's never been at the ultimate summit. They're one of the great wheelchair nations, and Congen is moving up even further on the outside. Al Rajahi. Oh, Congen's gone! Al Rajahi on the way. Al Rajahi gets the gold. Congen crashes. That was extraordinary. Al Rajahi gets the victory. And a massive collision. Higuchi from nowhere gets the silver medal. Congen is down. A massive crash. Yoshida down with him. But it is Faisal Al Rajahi who takes the gold in the men's 5,000 meters. Now, because this was in the closing straight, who knows what happens? Lou got the bronze, Higuchi the silver, Al Rajahi the gold. Maybe the race will be rerun, maybe it will not, but for now, Al Rajahi is the world champion for the first time. What a finish. Congen was coming out and looking really, really strong.
Congen was always going to be a danger, and he just put himself in that pack. He was sitting quietly, and I suspect that had we seen that sprint down the home straight come to conclusion, it might have been a lot closer. And I just wonder if Congen, perhaps in his excitement at having all that energy left and ready for the sprint finish, if he just hit that compensator and his chair wasn't able to get straight, and that's why he crashed into the athlete on his inside.
Well, what a result for Faisal Al Rajahi, his first global medal coming last year in the 800 meters. So Congen looking in good position, and yeah, he spun inside. Maju was coming slightly outside. None of that affecting Al Rajahi. It was all behind him. And then another massive collision coming behind. Higuchi coming through, Yoshida doing the somersault behind, and Al Rajahi doing his own somersaults as he gets the gold. We've only had 5 finishes. Higuchi in second, Lou third, Alazani 4, and then Ma coming in right behind in 5th spot. But Faisal Al Rajahi gets an absolutely astonishing victory in one of the most remarkable 5,000 meter finals, one of the most remarkable T54 finishes I think we've ever seen in what is an amazing racing category anyway. Absolutely unreal. So Al Rajahi gets the victory for Kuwait, and he is a world champion. A fantastic win, and that caps a marvelous career. And he's still only, what, 25? A dramatic finish, and Higuchi at the age of 45 wins his first World Championship medal since Lyon in 2013. That was a silver in the 5 back then, when, if I remember, there was a humongous crash in that as well, and it was rerun. Bronze in the 1,500 meters 11 years ago. What a sensational race. Well, the T54 racing is, I think, one of the most spectacular things in sport, full stop, that you can get. And that was an absolutely amazing finish. And perhaps we'll have an amazing finish in this men's high jump as well.
Well, last we were at the high jump. Jonathan Broome-Edwards and Derek Loxodon were still in the competition. Has finished though, because I can tell you that both Broome-Edwards and Loxodon cleared 2:04. Broome Edwards the first time of asking, Loxton the third, and then both of them came up with 3 fouls at 2:07. So despite clearing the same, Broome Edwards takes it on the countback, and Loxton will pick up the silver, Lepiato with the bronze. So this just a very short time ago. Jonathan Broome Edwards, that is when he cleared 2:04, and he looked like he could go much, much higher. He's a 2:15 jumper. But it wasn't to be today. He had 3 fouls crashing into the bar at 2:07. But he has done enough to pick up that gold medal. Derek Loxton, well, he came into it with his best of 192. He ended up clearing 12 centimetres further than that. How's your luck? Wonderful. Happy to boot as well. Lepiato, despite sharing that gold medal with Jonathan Broome Edwards in Paris last year, this time could only manage 2:01. He takes the bronze. So Great Britain with a gold, Loxton of the USA with silver, and Lepiato of Poland on the right of screen takes the bronze medal. Both Lepiato and Broome Edwards have climbed much bigger heights than that in high jump, but there's a bit of work to do. So here is Derek Loxton. That there was a 2:04. At 2:01, he cleared on his third attempt. At 2:04, he also cleared on his third attempt, but he went to 2:07, and he couldn't muster any more. There's that traditional jump that they get everyone to do. Get the picture while you're in the air, lads. You should be able to jump a bit higher. So Lepiato with that bronze. His best was 2:01. His lifetime best 2:19, which of course is the T44 world record. It wasn't to be today. That was the 2:01 that he jumped. And that was all she wrote. 3 fouls at 2:04 after that. And he busted out of the competition. There's the winner. Consecutive gold medals at the World Championships for Jonathan Broome Edwards. As we move back to the track, and the final event on the track for the evening, the men's 5,000 metres T13, least of the visual impairment categories. So we have 2 of the athletes in this one who have opted to run with guides. T13, you do not have to run with a guide. Adadi El Atabi is the reigning champion.
Representing Ecuador
from Spain. We'll get to him in a moment. Sixto Merida Criollo, who took gold at the Pan American Games last year. Lifetime best of 14:57.01. John Lekedi of Kenya.
Representing NPA,
Anton Kuliatin, who won gold in the 1500 metres at the Paralympic Games in Tokyo. Osama Hamimza of Morocco. Jared Clifford, silver last year in Paris behind El Adabi. Gold back in 2019 in Dubai. Mikhail Al of Turkey, 22 years of age. Here is the reigning champion, Yassin Adadi El Atabi. Also won gold in Tokyo as well. And Alexander Kostin, running as a neutral para-athlete, also with a guide, is the reigning European champion.
Final starts now.
So we have Kuliatin, the Paralympic 1500 metre champion, the reigning champion in this,
Dadi
Dadi Elatabi, and we have the European champion in Alexander Kostin. So away they get, and Jared Clifford just hops out there towards the front. He's got that hat on there, so you can't miss him. Always wears that when he's competing. And he had a quite old set to last year with Yassine Adadi Elatabi, with the two of them really battling it out for the gold medal in that one. But it's the guided athlete Alexander Kostin who has gone out to the front. I suspect that's a bit of a ploy, because when you've got the guide there, you don't want to be having too many people you happen to worry about around you and possibly tripping over. So to go to the front, it gives you a clear space, and you're in a position where you don't have to worry too much about what is coming there, and people happen to come around the outside because there are two of you. Kostin opting to run with his guide on the inside of the track. Some decide to run on the outside with the guide positioned on the inside to try and not worry so much about the athlete going off the track. But the reigning champion, Adadi Elatabi, is sitting quite nicely there in second place. Clifford there in fourth with that hat on, and it's Al of Turkey who's sitting in third position at the moment. Oh, just nicely bunched up. Athlete with a guide at the front in Kostin, athlete with a guide in Morete Criollo at the back. So just bookending the rest of the athletes in the middle of the field as they head around to complete the first lap and a half or so. He's looking quite comfortable there, Alexander Kostin. Elatabi, though, gee, he ran a good race last year in Paris. He was absolutely spectacular. He stormed away in the last quarter of the race to take it really well. It's all a race about pace, though, Steph Reed, and making sure you don't run your race too early.
I was just thinking, as these men set off, I think they're very happy this race is happening in the evening and not in this morning's heat. It was hot, and actually our two 1500-meter gold medalists from Ethiopia even said they found it very hot. But you are right about space. We actually saw Jared Clifford right at the start of the race, just working quite hard to stay on the track, putting a few hands out, letting the athletes know, hey, I'm here and I'm taking up my space. So both pacing, and gosh, as we saw from the men's 5,000 meter in the wheelchair, the importance of just staying upright. Hopefully we don't have any of that action going on in this race.
Yeah, that can make it makes it a little bit more difficult as well when there's a guide involved, because if they get stuck between athletes and you're trying to get your athlete out with you, the guide that is, and you're trying to move, and you've got an athlete with a visual impairment, it can be quite tricky, and you can clip the back heels of someone, and it has happened on many an occasion before. But as it is at the moment, we're staying in the same positions as we were. Alexander Kostin out in front with his guide, Lyril Kloptsov. And there will be a guide change a little bit later on. I can see a guide on the far side, so it will be either Kostin or Morete Criollo who does change guides a little bit later on. You are allowed to do that down that back straight, and it will happen at some point. And it is Morete Criollo who's just moved up slightly now to the through the back of the field, just keeping himself in a position to just keep in touch with everyone. Don't want to be left off the back when you're in one of these packs, because it can be quite difficult to try and pin your ears back a bit later on and catch up with them. You want to be there, and you want to be there or thereabouts, because if the speed picks up and you're left trailing off the back, you cannot get yourself back into that pack situation. But the reigning champion, Adadi Elatabi, looks really comfortable indeed, just tracking Kostin and his guide in second position at the moment. There's Mikhail Al of Turkey, who sits in third, and Jared Clifford in fourth position as they head through with 9 laps remaining in this men's 5,000 metres T13 final.
And do keep your eye out for the guide change. It is quite spectacular to watch. It actually reminds me quite a bit of an F1 pit stop almost. But it does, you have to weigh up the options, because on the one hand, the athlete is going to have to come out a little bit to do the guide change safely, but equally, you need that guide to keep up. And just chatting with a few of the guides in these longer distances, that is one of the pressures they feel. Actually, sometimes they worry that their fitness and their ability to run is going to be the thing that holds the athlete back.
Yeah, that's the hard part, isn't it? Finding a guide that actually is fit enough to run a race like this. A 5,000 metres race at this level is a good speed. It's not like a park run. you're out there and you're actually having to run with someone, and you're having to talk to someone along the way as well. So if there's any issues, you have to talk and you use oxygen that way, and it does become a lot more difficult when you are running with a guide. As it is, Costin still sits out in front. Elatabi is in second position. That is the other neutral athlete, Anton Kuliatin, who is in third position at the moment, and Jared Clifford has just dropped back into fifth position. So there's a bit of a break between the top three and the rest of the pack at the moment. I wouldn't say we've split into a group in the front and a peloton at the back, but there is a group there who are looking on.
This is Ahmed Medideb in the men's club throw, the F32 final. It's been on for the last few hours. And a chance for him to hit the front here. This is the most restrictive of the coordination impairment categories. Just giving that a good belt out towards 40 meters. A very, very solid throw. His sixth and his last. (37.61), and Medideb is in pole position for Algeria.
So 7 laps remaining in the men's 5,000 metres T13 visual impairment file. The least of the visual impairments is still out in front. It's Alexander Kostin and his guide Yuri Kloptsov. Adadi Elatabi, the reigning champion, is literally on their heels at the moment, breathing down their necks in second position, and Kuliatin in third position. And they've broken up. The pack is further back now. They're 30 metres or so behind, so they've made up a bit of a gap in between. So the pack behind are going to have to work very hard indeed if they're trying to get back with those three at the front. Now, if you're watching this here, you'll see 4. I talk about 3 because there's a guy in the front who's running with the leader in Alexander Kostin, and you can see the gap there. It has stretched out somewhat while we're away for that club throw, just watching that, and it's out to 30 or 40 metres, and that gap is extending as well. So there's a lot of work to be done by that group at the back. When they come around, they'll have 6 laps remaining, so just under 2.5 kilometres remaining in this 5,000 metres T13 final, and the group at the back is really being left behind. They're going to have to work together and work hard. Jared Clifford, who you would have thought would be one of the favourites coming into this, he's currently sitting second from the back and going backwards the whole time, but the pace has quickened somewhat at the front.
This is a quick pace. It's been sitting around about 14:20, 14:30 in between there. And if we look at the world record for the T13, the world record sits at 14:20.69. But for those athletes in that front pack, it is worth the effort, because at the moment with that separation, they know that those medals are going to be split between them.
And you'll just see a guide change that's about to happen in the background there. Perfect viewing and camera work for that one there. It's Sixto Roman, Moretta Criollo, who has just changed his guide there. And that was a seamless changeover by them. You don't want to be in a position where you're in amongst athletes and you're trying to make that change and you clip someone else. That was absolutely perfect, and a lot of work would go into that. Now, talking of guides, the man out in the front there, Yuri Klopstov, who's the guy for Alexander Kostin. They are looking very strong. We spoke a moment or two ago, Steph, about guides and how important they are. And when it gets to this end of the competition and the business end and the pace quickens and you've got 5 laps to go, you have to be ultra fit along with your athlete to make sure that you keep up and stick out there in front. But the man is looking really strong behind. The Spaniard, Yassine Adadi Elatabi, who's going for a second consecutive gold medal in this 5,000 metres T13 category after taking it in Paris last year. He's looking wonderfully good, as is Anton Kuliatin as well.
You can see it's a great shot right here of the guide and the athlete, and you can see how smooth and seamless that stride is, and that's not by accident. And what has to happen is the guide has to adapt to the athlete that they're running with, which also means it's potentially not the most efficient stride for the guide. Again, they have to be that much fitter. But you're right, it's interesting to see that if El Atabi wants to come around, that's quite a wide space he's going to have to cover, and that's part of the difficulty when you are mixing T12 and T13 classes.
Yeah, well, the pace has quickened from everyone as they've gone around, because the gap now has stretched out to around 80 metres with that block of 3 in front. They're trying to make up that distance there. Tamimza, or Lakady, I should say, who's trying to make up that space there. He's doing his best, and he's broken away from the man who just made a change a moment or two ago with his guide, Moretta Criollo. So Lakady, he's doing his best to try and narrow that gap down, but he's out there by himself, and he's got no one else to work with. And that gap has 80 to 90 metres and stretching further by the minute. He's doing his best, but the group out in front, led by Alexander Kostin and his guide in Yuri Klopstov, that group there are really putting the rest of them to the sword. It's 100 metres now that gap has gone out to. When they come back around, they'll have 3 laps remaining, and the pace will quicken even more. And Haddadi El Atabi is looking really comfortable indeed. But there's a bit of a danger here of Anton Kulitin just sitting behind everyone and putting on the afterburners at the end. 14:47.56, it's Kulitin's best time in this race. Now, for the man who took it last year, 14:21.91 is Haddadi El Atabi's quickest race. So he does have a good kick on him. We do know that. And he will run in that last 800 metres or so. He will quicken the pace even more. It'll be interesting to know when he's going to make his move, because he will make it at some point. He just doesn't want to make it too early.
Actually, I'm thinking about Yeltsin Jocks, who shocked everybody by making that blistering move far sooner than anyone was expecting. But that pack there has been quite happy to let that pace be set for them. And I do feel a little bit for Lakady. He came 5th at last year's World Championships, and you can tell that he sensed this race was getting away, but that's why you have to be decisive and react to those moves immediately. He's trying, but it is just too late at this point.
Yeah, so many of them don't react to it because they're thinking, I might use up too much energy now, so I'll let them go and I'll be able to keep with them. But by the time they're gone, you realise that it's much too late, and that's happened with Lakady and the rest of the group a little while ago. As it is, there are 3 athletes coming around, 4 if you count the guide, and it's Alexander Kostin who's been at the front for the entire race. Haddadi El Atabi sitting in 2nd position, and Anton Kulitin in 3rd. They're just biding their time. They've got 2 laps remaining. The next time they get round to this position, they'll be taking the bell. So you'd expect now, if anyone's going to make a move, it's going to come in the next 200 metres as they get around to that 200-metre mark remaining on this lap. But Haddadi El Atabi is looking very comfortable then. The red shirt there just bunched in amongst the 2 neutral athletes. Kostin out in front with his guide, and Kulitin, the 1500-metre champion from Tokyo 2020. So we do know that he'll have a kick in him at the end as well. But all of them looking like they're struggling somewhat now as we head around with 600 metres to go. The pace has been quick in the last 4 or 5 laps, and well, Kostin tried to lengthen it out a little bit more then, but Haddadi El Atabi just went with him and said, "You're not getting away from me." Kulitin is held on at the back, but Kulitin just looks like he's really moving those shoulders at the moment and taking a few gasps there to try and keep with them. It is tough work indeed, as they'll come down and they'll take the belt in a moment or two's time, and we'll just see who's going to make a move, because someone's going to have to do it. The question is, Haddadi El Atabi may well just bide his time and wait for the final 200 metres. I say that as he gets the bell, he moves to the front for the first time, and just watch him go. He is extremely quick, and Kulitin is not letting him get away. Kostin and his guy are gone. They're going to be battling and making sure they get that 3rd position in the bronze medal, because Lakady is way too far back. So it's now become a race in 2 between the defending champion, Yassin Haddadi El Atabi, and the man who's the 1500-metre Paralympic champion in 2nd place there, Anton Kulitin. And Haddadi El Atabi has gone again. He has absolutely kicked with 200 metres to go, and you would swear he is running in a 400-metre race at the moment. He has blown Kulitin away at the 200-metre mark, and before you know it, he's 100 metres further round, and he now has a lead of around 30 to 40 metres. He's getting the crowd behind him as he comes down. This is what he did in Paris last year, and he's done it again here. He's taken the gold medal. He's backed himself to win. 14:27.29 is the time that he's going to cross in to take the gold. Kulitin has gone across to take the silver medal, and in 3rd place it is Alexander Kostin with his guide Yuri Klopstov. who pick up the bronze medal. A quite spectacular finish for the race again from Yassin Adadi El Atabi of Spain. The Kenyan is going to come in 4th position. He did his best. He broke away from the pack and tried to mow those top 3 down. He couldn't do it, but he comes in 4th place. The rest move across the line, but it's too little, too late. Clifford across there. Karimza in 5th position, Clifford in 6th. Barreto Criollo also going across with his guide in 7th position. And it is Mikhail Al of Turkey who finishes up in 8th position. But lots of lifetime bests and season bests there as well. A new European record for Adadi El Atabi with that time he set. But well, from the front it was cost him, but with a lap to go you could just see he was burning up there, wasn't he?
I think what we see in this race is just how important speed is. Even if you are a distance runner, you see Yassin Adadi El Atabi just powering away there, as you said, looking like he's running a 400-meter race. However, and you might feel a little bit bad for Costin and his guide for leading that race the whole way. However, that was a well-earned bronze medal. They pushed the pace knowing that was their best way to get on that podium.
He's a smart runner, isn't he, Yassin Adadi El Atabi? He knew that he had the speed, but he didn't want to go too early because he would have used up too much energy. He waited until around a lap to go, literally as the bell was going. 14:27, 7.6, a new European record for the Spaniard, and he makes it back-to-back gold medals at the World Paralympics Championships. Disappointment for the rest. Not those two, though. The 2 neutral athletes, Kulitin with the silver, Costin with the bronze. The rest left behind. That's the end of our track events for the evening. We do have action still happening in the field, though, which will bring you the very latest of as we head down towards the javelin.
Yes, we have still 4 men to throw in this men's javelin F57 seated category, the strongest of the seated throwers. And this is Mohammed Kalvandi of Turkey, defending champion. This is a monster. Look at that. Beyond 45 meters. Now, Fauzi Purwalasgono of Indonesia leads on 48.25 right now. Jokenbak Odilov of Uzbekistan, the silver last time out, and at the moment it is silver for him as he lies in second, 46.84. And Edgar Baracus of Mexico third, currently 43.58. Kalvandi has had a couple of no throws though, and they've been monstrous size. And that one being a good one, over 45 meters, he would have been pushing certainly for the gold. Odilov 46.84, Purwalasgono 48.25. Kalvandi getting closer and closer to it, but just needing to get the technique right. And obviously he's been doing a bit of lifting while he's been throwing, so he's been red flagged all the way through. So he's had all those misses to date. And Kalvandi is going to have to try and get the technique right in order to get himself back on the podium. The reigning Javelin world champion in this F57. Again, that is a good bit beyond 45, and it is a white flag now. I think, yeah, it's a white flag. So that will go on the board, and that will be the lead. It's been whistled up quite a bit in those 2 previous throws, but 48.51, and Kalvandi goes into the lead just like that, above Indonesia's Purwalasgono.
Now you can see on screen, just to the right, there is a judge sitting about 2 feet from him. And much like the long jump, that judge, we see him now, he's just behind the graphic, has both a white flag and a red flag. We've just seen Calvandi. He was really, really clamping down on those ties, and those are important because that is what keeps his body connected to the chair. One of the most important things of seated throws, well, I guess it's in the name, you have to stay seated. You have to maintain contact between the back of your thighs and that chair. Otherwise, you're going to get a red flag from that judge. Within the throwing world, that judge is known as the butt judge, and that is his job.
So there's still going to be 2 more to throw after this. Cicero Lin's bronze last time out in Paris in the previous World Championships a year ago, and Amanola Papi of Iran, who was 4th in that Javelin World Final. So Calvandi going out in front, 26 centimeters clear of poor Wallach Sono. It's a lifetime best by 3¼ meters for the Indonesian. Calvandi has gone out to 51 meters in his day. It's not the world record. 51.33 is his lifetime best. The world record is 51.42 for Hamid Aidari of Azerbaijan in the Tokyo Paralympic Games 3 years ago. Oh, he's gotten good with that. That might be even longer, and I suspect it probably is. 48.51 before. Don't think it's beyond 50, but it's close to being an improvement. Calvandi with a brilliant effort, superb strength, and obviously not allowed to be lifting, as you've heard. A lot of strong arm action. 49.80, 20 centimeters off the 50-meter mark, and that is a new championship record to beat the mark of Cicero Lin's in Dubai from 5 years ago.
And that's just on the border of 50 meters. That is an incredible distance to launch a javelin using just your upper body. Now, we've seen a few ambulant javelin throws already, and you can see the way they really use their entire body as a slingshot. These athletes are doing it using just their torsos. That javelin is a 600-gram javelin. In the Olympics and the able-bodied, they are throwing an 800-gram javelin. But again, the way that he is using his torso, you can see him lean all the way back and then launch it all the way forward, trying to get as much movement into that javelin as possible before releasing it.
And that championship record by Cicero Lin's 5 years ago was the world record at the time. Oh, that's even further. That has to be further. This is magnificent from Mohamed Calvandi. At the moment, he is on the way to gold. 20 centimeters away from the 50-meter mark with his previous attempt, and he's just going further and further, it seems. Absolutely fantastic from the Turkish thrower. Ooh, but he gets the red flag. That might just have been the furthest yet. We still have 2 more to go. The former world champion from 2019, Cicero Lin's, as I was saying, that really great marker, 49.26 at the time, was the world record, but Hamid Aidari has gone past it subsequently in this F57, which is as high as we go in terms of the seated/wheelchair throwers. Although the thing is, there are a few in the 50s in the throwing events. It is normally a wheelchair throwing event, but who in normal life may not be in a wheelchair, but they are absolutely incapable of doing the run-up, and really of even walking at a regular pace. So they're clashed in the 50s. It's a seated throw. Calvandi looking to go big. It won't be his longest. A lot of red marks, red flags. There's another one by Calvandi right now with 2 men to go. He's in the medals, he leads, he's in pole position, and right now Calvandi is on the way to gold.
I am absolutely loving this crowd. So many have stayed to watch the conclusion of this, and to an extent, you almost don't even need the officials measuring, because you can hear by the noise of the crowd and the oohs and the ahs just how far it has gone. They're clapping the athletes on. We would still need an official, obviously, to do the judging for the butt judge, but such an engaged crowd here.
Well, just as I was saying about Kulvandi, he's on his feet there, but he's incapable of running, so he could not compete in, let's say, the World Athletics Javelin, an able-bodied competition.
Just confirming that men's 5,000 metres T54, Arajihi with the victory there. Higuchi picking up the silver, and Liu, a season best for him with the bronze medal. And three who did not finish with that crash at the end, and Ma was disqualified as well.
Ma had finished fifth. Ma and Kongen crashing together.
5,000 metres T13, which we just saw. Adadi Al-Tabi with the European record. Kuliatin, lifetime best for him with a silver, and Alexander Kostin, also a neutral athlete, season best for him with the bronze medal.
Jaden Blackwell retaining his crown in the men's 100 metres T38, and a new championship record beating the old mark of Evan O'Hanlon. Gold for Blackwell for the United States. Thomas Young, silver for Great Britain, 11.02, and Zhou Peng, the bronze for China, 11.07. Medrano with a lifetime best in fifth.
Women's 200 metres T35, the second heat. The show qualifying through along with Fatima Suad and Renetska, and qualifying Al Hasmitsky also going through as the fastest qualifier.
So these are the fastest qualifiers. Pal, the fastest for India. We'll watch out for her in the final, 30.30. A new lifetime best, Go and Zhao, second and third fastest for China. Looking like a good decider, that. And Abdel Mehideb, we saw his winning throw in the men's club throw F32. A 1-2 for Algeria. Walid Ferha, the silver, and Alexei Churkin, neutral athlete, in third spot. So Alexei Churkin, a neutral para-athlete, getting that out to 35 meters 18, and that good enough for the bronze medal in this men's club throw in the F32. Walid Ferha of Algeria leading for quite a while in this. 36.30, his best. And that, the silver medal for Algeria. But gold going to Ahmed Mehideb. This is sixth and last attempt. 37.61, and he is the world champion. Algeria 1 and 2. A great result. So the F32 club going to Ahmed Mehideb of Algeria ahead of his compatriot Walid Ferha and Alexei Churkin with the bronze in this coordination impairment decider. Women's shot put F37, a gold here for China, for Li Yingli, head of arena, Verchenskaya, neutral athlete, Ima with the bronze. Let's see her Mina. F37 is the second strongest of the coordination impairment categories. And this going out to 12 meters 83 to earn Mina the bronze. Very used to being on the podium. Rena Vertenskaya very much the same. She coming out with the very next effort in this final. Going all the way out to a new lifetime best of 13 meters 22. She's happy to be back in international competition as well. But Li Yingli continues her run of great results, claiming the world title by quite a tight margin, 13 meters 52, close to the 14-meter mark. Li Yingli is the world champion. So another gold for China with Li Yingli, 13.52. Vertenskaya, the silver, as a neutral athlete. Mina, third for China. And Ingeborg Gardersdottir in fourth spot for Iceland.
Men's high jump, T64. Jonathan Broome-Edwards with the victory on a countback. Derek Loxodon, championship record for him of 2:04. And this man here, Lepiato, taking third place. He shared the gold medal last year in Paris with Jonathan Broome-Edwards. This time, though, 2:04 was a little bit too much for him, so he finished on 2:01, which was that jump there. And that was as far as he went for the man from Poland. So he picked up a bronze medal. Derek Loxodon, a championship record in the T64 category. 2 T64s going in this, the T44 final. So Loxodon cleared 2:01 as well with no issues. He went 2:01 and 2:04 after missing his first two. He cleared on the third attempt of both, but 2:07 was a mark too far for him in the T64 category. And Jonathan Broome-Edwards, he went 190, 194, missed 198, left it, went straight to 2:01, 2:04 on the first mark was what he did here when he went to 2:04. And just like Loxodon, 2:07 became a mark too far. He fouled 3 times, but wins on countback from Derek Loxodon and takes the gold medal this time without having to share it, as he did in Paris last year. Broome-Edwards with the gold, Loxodon with the silver, and Lepiato with that bronze medal. Season best for Giazov and Bartoshevich as well further down the list.
It's been very well populated on the stand side, maybe about 6,000-7,000 in tonight. It is a massive bowl here in Kobe, I can assure you. And actually, when we were coming in here an hour before the evening session began, there were still quite a lot of fans in their seat. It was amazing to see, wonderful to see. We've had very good crowds here in Kobe. It's been one of the best attended World Championships. I know people will think of London and the 30,000-40,000 we had every night there, which was wonderful. The track action is over, so quite a few on this home straight side have headed for the hills and the mountains of Kobe and Osaka, but there's still quite a good few here. Now this man for Brazil, he finished top of the podium before in Dubai with the world record in this men's Javelin F57 seated competition, which began almost 3 hours ago at 5 p.m. It's now almost 8, and he's the penultimate thrower. Oh, that one has gone way out. It's a measurable one. It's going to put him up in towards the medal contention straight away, I can tell you that. Beyond the last marker. And there's very few who have achieved that. That should be a top 3 throw for Linz straight away. 46.84 is third for Odilov. That is 49.05. And he goes into the silver medal position behind Kalvandi. He is so close to 50 meters, the former world record holder, remember, when he took that gold in Dubai in 2019, and he's looking for more, Stephanie.
Joe, I was actually really surprised when I watched Linz Nobre take off his shirt, or take off his sweater. Is another good throw, but that's because the temperature has changed so much from the start of this competition to where it is now.
Me.
When we came in, we were all in t-shirts and it was really hot, and now it's actually quite chilly. And again, you wonder how much the conditions are affecting it. Throws, they love being hot, they want the power. I do wonder what his throws would look like had it been a little bit warmer for him.
That's the cruelty, isn't it? And it is a reason why the evening sessions are starting at 5 p.m. instead of something like 7. 48.53 is still brilliant, by the way. That in its own right would have been good enough for silver. Poor Walaksono down to third, and he's in jeopardy as we've one more to go. Amanola Papi of Iran, who's a regular championship medalist. That is a monster. Now, is that beyond 50? And is Linz Nobre on the brink, maybe, of the gold here for Brazil? He's entitled to a minute break after that throw and a drink, and hopefully for him a warm one. That's a brilliant throw. It's good consistency. It's well beyond 45, 49.41, and he is getting closer. He is 39 centimeters away from Kalvandi. And the championship record that Kalvandi achieved in the last quarter hour that he whipped away from Linz Nobre. He's had his sustenance.
This is interesting. He has clearly opted not to have his break, preferring just to stick in his groove. Maybe didn't want another opportunity to possibly get a bit cold.
That's not a bad idea, to be honest, because we've seen so many lose momentum when they have been forced to take the break. And in other competitions, we've seen the officials say, no, you're taking a break and that's it. But nobody's going to deny Linz Nobre this. Doesn't look as long as his best. 48.18. He's got 2 more to go. 49.87 is his lifetime best. It's the only throw of his career that would be good enough for gold tonight. Let's see. Oh, he likes that one. Why wouldn't he? That looks very impressive. Linz Nobre might just have cracked it for Brazil. That might just be the lead throw. I'm sure he felt confident that there was a monster one on the way, and that might just have been it. A super throw by the Brazilian. Linz Nobre has hit the front. 50 meters, 0.18, a new championship record, and Kalvandi has been overtaken. Linz Nobre in the gold medal position with 1 to go. So poor Walaksono remains in third, and there's a 50-meter man, Amanola Papi of Iran, who is the last to throw. This is another good one. Look at that set of marks. Every single one would have him as a top 2 man. It is going to be silver at least for Linz Nobre, bronze at least for Kalvandi, who's in second place now. No right of reply, obviously all the throws coming at the same time. Quite a few years ago, it was 3 and 3, but that elongated the competitions quite a lot. And they are long enough as they are now, obviously. 49, 89, that would have been enough for gold anyway. Linz Nobre is in the gold medal position. A new championship record of 50.18 with 1 man to go. And that is Aminola Papi. Kalvandi is knocked out of top spot for Turkey. So it means that the reigning champion has been dethroned, and the man who he dethroned, Cicero Linz Nobre, might be about to wrest his world title back. 1 man to go. A lot of action down in the long jump pit earlier. Great competition in the T47, and for a time looked close to a world record in that. Potentially might have been on the way from the current world record holder.
Sol Cervantes never looked in any doubt of losing it though. Kotikov with second, and the Chinese athlete there with that third position. But it was a wonderful competition. It went like lightning as well, didn't it? Didn't take any time at all. They went flying through it. But at the end of it, the Cuban, Sol Cervantes, reigned supreme. Wang Hao with the bronze medal in third position, 7.25 with his best jump of the evening. And Roderick Townsend was pushing him hard, but Townsend withdrew with a couple of jumps to go. And Kotikov picked up the silver medal. 7:32 for him. He's been amongst the medals before, so he knows what it's like, and he had to push himself up the leaderboard as well. He started off a bit slowly, but there was no doubt in the winner right from his very first jump. Sol Cervantes, 7.60 with his best. His world record is 7.74. He couldn't get near that. What a jump that is. Gets much further, he'll be jumping out of the pit soon. Best part is he doesn't break stride at all when he runs. He just keeps on going, gets that leg movement running in the air, and just sits down nicely to the side. And that is the gold medalist from Cuba. So Cuba with the gold through Sol Cervantes, Kotikov, silver, and Wang Hao with the bronze medal there. Tajcevic just outside, a season best for Roderick Townsend despite only jumping on 4 occasions.
Still a few hundred here to watch the final throws in the final event of the day, which was actually the first event of the evening session. And as I was just saying, because we were going into a busy period there, it's the reason why they're starting the evening sessions here at 5 p.m. instead of 7, which is what you would normally get, because it gets so cold here when the sun goes down, but they're still living it up. Kalvandi in the silver medal position, Linz Nobre in the gold, and it is Aminola Papi, silver in the Javelin in Dubai in 2019, and a 50-meter man, 51.85 is his lifetime best. So this is the man who's currently lying in third spot, Fauzi Wolaksono, 48.25. He led for a chunk of it quite a while ago, as you can see. Lifetime best for him by 3 meters plus. He was throwing about 3 hours ago, right at the start of the competition. Mohamed Kalvandi, the reigning world champion going into this, serious operator, trying to break 50 meters, and he almost did. Went out to 49.80. That had him in front. He was the third last to throw. Would it be gold? Well, obviously, the seedings follow a certain path. The previous world champion from 2019, Cicero Lins Nobre of Brazil, with some awesome throwing in this. And the only man to crack 50 meters. It has him in the gold medal position with one more to go. It was bronze for him last time in Paris at the Stade Charlotte, and here in the Universiade Stadium in Kobe. He's in the gold medal position, but it's Operation Alpha Papi now. That might be the gold for Iran. Certainly Papi is in with a chance of a medal for Iran. Clavandi in the silver.
Well, I tell you, we'll get an interesting look at the moment. Papi's getting himself sorted in the chair. He's rugged up more than we are.
I don't blame him. You stay out here long enough, you sound like me. He's doing his own strapping as well. That's a serious job.
Well, you have to remember as well, he's been sitting there for about 3 hours, hasn't he? And as the temperature has changed, he's got colder and colder as you're sitting there, and you're not doing anything because you are in the same area over there, just a holding area, waiting for things to happen. So the longer you have to wait around, the harder it is. He's taking that jacket off now, but you can see it was clearly cold when he got out there. He might warm himself up with a couple of throws, I can tell you. Here's the reigning Asian Para Games champion. And he is one of only two in this field who have thrown over 50 meters.
You can see in the background there, several of the athletes had what looked like carry-on luggage. Clearly they know they are here for the long run and looking to move in. But yes, it's a really long time for him to wait. And yes, he does look very cold. However, it's not his first championships. I suspect that perhaps he doesn't have time every practice session to come and sit for 3 hours before he throws. However, it is
like yourself.
However, I'm sure he would have practiced the art of coming up to throw over 50 meters while being a little bit cold and perhaps a little bit stiff.
Well, he's just put a practice throw beyond 45.
Yeah.
So it was around 46 or 47. And I'm not sure how much he's holding back on that. But he has a prospect, definitely, of knocking on the door of Per Woleksono. Now, Per Woleksono won bronze in the Asian Games in Hangzhou. Odilov got the silver, and this man got the gold with a games record of 49.24. Papi won the silver in Dubai. He was fourth last year. In the Stade Charlotte in the previous World Championships. And remember, we've got another World Championships coming up next year on schedule. Papi, the 2017 World Champion in London. So currently the 2019 World Champion is in the lead. The 2023 World Champion in second place, with the 2017 World Champion left to throw. Here's how the standards have changed. He didn't get past 45 metres to win that gold in London. And it's well beyond 45 metres here. It's approaching 50. Right now, the bronze medal is 48.25. He'll get a red flag for that, though, which obviously he's going to have to watch out for. 48.25 is bronze for Wicaksono of Indonesia. And for those of you watching there, welcome for you that this World Championship is on in prime time. So Papi with 1 red X against his mark. And he still has 5 chances to get into the medals. Choose your weapon, sir. No, trajectory's wrong there. It's fallen around 43 meters, but at least it'll get him on the board. It's going to be another red flag anyway, as you can see. Trying to avoid the lifting.
I guess there's a danger if you have 3 fouls and you get to that break point and you're looking at, well, I've got to put something in here to at least try and get myself into the medals.
You can see there he is doing what he can just to tighten that strap. The straps are so tight, he actually has padding underneath them protecting his thighs. But again, this is the rule, specifically that the ischial tuberosity has to maintain contact. And that is what that judge is looking out for. He has a perfect view, and he is watching right to the end of the throw to ensure there's no lifting taking place.
So 3rd time lucky, maybe. That's a bit more like it. It hasn't stuck in the ground. Definitely, if he gets the white flag, and he has got the white flag, should put him in the top 5. Is it enough for the top 3? It's such an immense amount of strength to do it from a sitting start. An immense amount of power put into it. And without the run-up, obviously, he loses 20-30 meters, maybe in that 48-40. He goes into the bronze medal position by 15 centimeters. And Wicaksono is out of the medals for Indonesia. Papi will get the bronze at the very least.
Now, Papi has chosen to take his break, and you have to think from an athlete perspective, this has been quite a stressful start. He came out, he threw a massive throw, only to have that throw deemed a foul, followed by another foul. And at that point, you're getting a little bit stressed out, thinking, do I need to change my technique? Do I need to throw differently? That's not what you want to be thinking about when you are going for this title.
So he's got 3 more throws to go. I was going to ask during the long jump, by the way, in what was the T47, how much of a percentage you would lose without being able to use your arms fully in terms of distance, because 760 to win is only, what, 1.35 meters off Mike Powell's absolute world record.
760 is a phenomenal distance to jump, whether or not you have use of both arms. But actually, it's one of those things where anyone can try it. Go out tomorrow, tuck your arm behind you, and try and run.
Here comes Papi. Oh, that's good. That, again, is knocking on the door of the medals. That is a red flag, it looks, though. Yeah, there it is. Right in front of Papi. And Calvandi is there watching on, hoping that he can get the silver. But look, he's giving the advice that would cost him the silver to allow Papi overtake him. And it's a bit like the pole vault, and how they're all in it together and how they'll all support giving advice to Papi to try and find the extra meter 40 to overtake the man in second, but the man giving the advice is the man in second.
That's a good view, isn't it? Almost looking into the abyss. What do I need to do to come up with that extra 50 centimeters or so?
Here comes Papi. He might be happy after that. That is again the same range. That is among the medals, and it is a white flag. So Papi has the prospects. Is that enough to get him into the top 2 or the top 1? It's seemingly closer to 50. It's a really, really good throw. And a fair one. 49.61, an Asian record, but it's not enough to overtake Kalvandi. So Mohamed Kalvandi is still in the silver medal spot. And there's just one throw to go for Papi. If he can make it just over half a meter, it would be the gold. 20 centimeters, it would be the silver. He's currently in the bronze medal mark. The gold and silver medalists as they currently are. Together. Papi on the brink. It's all down to this. Papi. That's another beauty. Now, is that enough? It is a white flag. Almost a hesitant white flag. There was no hesitation with the throw from Papi. It's around the same range that he has successfully thrown with his past couple of efforts. Is that enough? We're about to find out. Shake of the head. 49.46, Papi gets the bronze. Kalvandi the silver, and Linz Nobre gets his world title back. Championship record 50 meters 18. And Linz Nobre is a 2-time world champion for Brazil. That was a really good combination between the best in the world. The last 3 world champions fighting to be a 2-time world champion. And the support that Mohamed Kalvandi was doing against with Papi. Linz Nobre does it again, having claimed the world crown in Dubai. Which again wasn't the biggest stadium. But there was a nice crowd in there most days. It's I found a really good atmospheric championships that. The commentary position was virtually in the crowd. Cicero Linz Nobre takes the honours. 5 years on, he is world champion again. Mohamed Kalvandi is dethroned, but it is silver for the Turkish competitor this time, 49 meters 80. It was a really, really good competition. I kind of wonder what the likes of, I don't know, Steve Backley and Jan Chalesny in the day might have been able to produce. It is, in world athletics, a really hot event again. A lot of men getting deep into the 80s. But of course, they hurl themselves towards the line, which these men cannot do. Papi gets the bronze, a new Asian record, 49.61, and it was about 60 centimeters between the top 3. That was a brilliant way for this to end. That was really absorbing, and we saw the best of it. We saw the best 3. It's hard lines on poor Wallach Sono, who threw about 5:15. It is now 8:20 on a Saturday evening. A chilly Saturday evening in Kobe. It was about 30 Celsius. It's about 90 Fahrenheit at the start of the session 3 hours ago, and it has plummeted. Aminola Papi, the 2017 world champion, just outside the medals last year in Paris, and here in Kobe, going out to 49.61 and a new Asian record. And only enough for bronze, and he knew it because he was the last to throw. Mohamed Kalvandi was the third last to go. He was knocking around the 50-meter mark a lot and improving as the 6 throws went on. But this in the end was silver for the incoming champion. And now he is the outgoing champion. 2013 gold, 2024 silver, and this man is the reason why. The man who was dethroned by Mohamed Kalvandi last year in Paris has got his title back. Cicero Lins-Nobre of Brazil, a new championship record going out to 50 meters. 80, and it's gold for Brazil. Cicero. So as night falls on the western seaboard of Japan, down we are in the south. Lins-Nobre picking up the gold, 50.18. Kalvandi, the silver for Turkey. Mohamed Kalvandi for Turkey. And Aminola Papi, the bronze for Iran. Good competition, that.
Yeah, 18 finals on day 2. Plenty of action. Championship records, lifetime best, season best. We've got more to look forward to on day 3. There will be 6 finals in the morning session. Hopefully the weather sets fair again. We look forward to joining you then. For me, Tolson Tollett, Steph Reed and Will Downing, bye for now.